player has a weapon in hand. It's just a solid start, just catching Medusa out in mid on that lurk, and up in the Odin. Continuing to just be thorns in the side here of DFM.
Yeah, and it's Saya player as well, someone who's been known for his operator the entire career, quite frankly, in Valorant. So that's something that they will have to figure out. Now DFM, there's several questions that they need to answer, right? One is, how do we deal with this operator? Two is, if you're gonna set up this screen, the problem is now you've noticed that T1 tends to push out of it. They're ready for the lurk. So do you dump your util just to shove them out of tree? And if you do, like, that can be okay. But if it does not lead to a kill, how else are you gaining space and information? During that dump, is someone, you know, nearby already in B main, somewhere right close to A main, to listen for the audio cues, to take that space, to gain some more control? You gotta have these multi-step flow charts prepared on the side of DFM. We'll see if that's ready to go off of this timeout.
Still not so far behind that this isn't recoverable. It's only 3 rounds.
Yes.
Plenty more to be played out here in this half. Again, I mean, it has been such narrow margins in several of these. Been able to draw blood. You can see May, 10 and 7, lobby leader right now in kills. It certainly is possible for them to get right back into this one.
Yeah, and another bit of this Odin tiles crunch here. Why send a jet in when you can just send 100 bullets? That shuts down mid. I mean, it's things like these, right, where T1's able to do this because that denies the entire value of that toxic screen. Now you're scared, you gotta use util to clear up mid again, things like that. Now DFM's adjustment is a late lurk in from Sesu. We'll see. That comes to fruition. Of course, a weak round with only 1 rifle in the hands of May.
You can see DFM trying to see what they can learn here. Can figure out about the positioning of T1. Pick up on the poison orb, lobs it right back in.
Yeah, you have to remember that it's multiple rounds you have to think about. Not just 1 round at a time in isolation, but how does it all stack up?
And another full flash connecting there is May. Jumping forward, shot a little bit wide from Sion player, but Medusa able to find execute. May gonna be put down, however, Sion on the repeat. Comes up with a kill. Izu sending out that paranoia! And Sion player keeps it protected. Gunning down Medusa on the approach. And now it is all down to the Omen. Gets a creep around, second shot will connect, finds the kill onto Carpe. Let's be able to try to recover the weapon here. Saya not necessarily aware that he's on that flank, but nice little adjustment, little flick of the wrist, and he will be able to find that 3rd kill.
The cover from Saya, so good during that round. If he doesn't catch the members filling back of sight, that could have been the spike plan, and that could have been a weapon recovered, and we could be looking at a very different round, potentially a thrifty from DFM. The idea is not bad. A very well done set play to deny vision from the potential operator, from anyone that's filling the site. Sets up May. But the weaponry not there, and Saya very quick to recognize where he needs to cover.
Just the quick turn back. You don't get that pick. Maybe the paranoia doesn't go out from Izu as well, and then the cleanup on the remaining players is that much more difficult, if not impossible. Fantastic timing there from Saya. That's very true, as Excurate getting bogged a little bit there by the boom bot. Doesn't clear him nor May, but 5 HP remaining there on the race. So damage dealt, but kill not found. 2-man advantage here for the side of DFM as they turn their sights here in towards mid, and there you go. Izu does get caught. Rossi slows things up a bit with that fragment. Now wants to try to pull it against this Omen, who is not quite prepared. He's like, oh, where did he TP to? He's up top. Does take a shot. Able to find that elimination, but then Medusa re-swings back around, finds the kill. Carpe now on his lonesome.
Spike plant.
There's plenty of cash here in the hands of T1. May just 2 away from a showstopper. Carpe continuing to creep closer, though.
I mean, you've got so many creds, so I don't blame him. Right, sure, May is 2 points away from the showstopper. That would be the one thing you're a little concerned about, but the creds are so low on the side of DFM. You want to try at least a little bit.
Oh, I mean, he hit Anthem down to 62.
Everyone quite low.
Recon not spotting, but May will be able to survive the round. Pushes up, gets one step closer to that showstopper. DFM lock in a third round victory here in the first half.
And what T1 was doing in the previous round is somewhat what I wanted to see from DFM, right? Where you're putting pressure on one side, and then even if things don't work out, you still took over A main. However, one of T1's weaknesses is they don't ever stop that, right? They're always willing to take more contact to get information to make sure that they're continuing to expand their territory on the map. DFM correctly identifies that they're still waiting for another peek out across all 3 lanes of Ascent, and they will get rewarded.
Chance to soften up the bank a little bit here. Saya player, the one buying down to get that operator back online. Rossi has enough money to go ahead and afford another one here, but Carpe now pulling well back over towards the spawn here as the rush is ready to come through. A little bit of damage across as May and Anthem get tagged up slightly, but overall still quite healthy. As all T1 gets clustered up, most of them over here towards Market. Looks like Izu joining in alongside Ross. They try to rotate over around through B main, but now Saya player taken out, so up on the floor. May continues to take space here, takes out Carpe.
Very
these 2 players that were going to go on this flank that are just going to be sat back in B lobby.
Yeah, very big for May, recognizing that if the Odin's going to keep spamming, we got to push out, we got to do something about it. Otherwise, this pit is our own death trap. Whether they knew about the flanks or not doesn't even matter. But you got to imagine that that's a possibility DFM considered. Now, T1 heads up play to go for the flank, knowing that the pit is available. But they won't be able to make use of it, like you said. And DFM, looking pretty solid already.
You can take a pretty easy guess as far as where Izu's going to be. Paint Shell's down to 6 HP now. As Rossi going to try to maybe provide some form of covering fire, but now he himself is going to get caught up in the mix. Just distract him long enough for Medusa and Anthem to get taken out by the spike, but they have plenty of cash, so I don't think they're going to be too worried about it. The main thing is them getting that round win.
And the showstopper online for May, 14-9 in this map. Looking very solid already. Not an entirely bad half for the attack on Ascent, especially given how it started. A 6-round win streak on the side of T1.
Yeah.
If they get any more here, it's a nice bonus.
Absolutely would be. Feeling good. You'd imagine, Neth right now, a bit of a rocky start for him, just a singular kill, but as you move over on that defending side as the Cypher, that's where you're really going to be able to be in a stronger position to actually find some tangible impact.
There, shutting them down.
Okay, 0 point, not deep enough to actually scout Wine here.
They recognize it though, it looks like. They're waiting for a potential peek out from either angle.
Ping's coming down. They're very much suspicious about this. Rossi playing back gen here for the moment. There's the paranoia sent in. Goes for the further target, but can't follow up on the second. May able to strike him down. Showstopper still at the ready. Side player now. Knives drawn, sends one.
Trying to see if it draws Saya into a fight. He's not that crazy.
Oh yeah, no tailwind's gonna have to back away as that second knife does whiff. In the meantime, just looking to hold from heaven. Waiting for any kind of additional cue. So far, it's just going to be the boom bot. Sends that dart right before it would have been nullified.
This is a lot of time spent for DFM. I get what they're trying to do. They know that T1's going to want to take contact, so they play it slow, but that numbers advantage may not be as great as they think with an Odin here.
Oh, the gap to work with here. That's going to be spotted. Anthem now mowed down as Carpe just continues to hold M1. Can't readjust for Medusa. Doesn't get any damage out onto the Viper either. Plant now going to be coming through, but Execute in position. Lockdown at the ready. He sends it. Mitchell's not available, but there is still that showstopper here from May. Something that T1 have to be very cognizant of is Medusa going on a bit of a walk. And Sai says, oh, hello. I didn't see you there. Gets the headshot. Now that brings May into the 1v2. Can't quite line it up though.
Wow.
For the readjustment, Saya player continues to counter swing against him. Finds that elimination. So T1 will be able to get themselves now up to 7-round wins.
Yeah, and a good double swing high-low setup there, going up to the spike as well from Excured and Saya. Well played. Medusa, it seemed like he had his own pick of trying to find maybe one extra member next to that lockdown. And then, seeing if he has a chance to break it. Doesn't quite clear all of that area. That's going to be the death in the round, going over to T1. But again, DFM, some good ideas in the first half. It's just that they start to get real cautious as they start to taste a little bit of that round win coming their way. Now, because it's T1, they get rewarded now every now and then. But at the end of it, you're down to 20 seconds, 30 seconds. You got to start rushing in.
Chance to make this a 7-5 half here for DFM. Very solid position to be in. As for now, everybody widely just fanned out across the map. That's with the cam. Not going to be spotting too much there. Side player now starting to work forward. There's the Cyber Cage down. Knows that he's in there. Decides to just back away. Doesn't want to over-challenge this.
Don't mind this from DFM. They draw to the drone. Look at T1 immediately trying to react for more space.
Oh, that's it. Okay, I was going to say, likely getting caught,
Wow.
but no, I've been covering fire. Net the cross away, able to find him, and then Isu
Oh.
goes right back in, cleans him up. So the 3v3 now. The showstopper still online in this final round of the half. Everybody clustered together over towards B.
It's got to be
just execute.
Yeah, it's got to be a flash drive into the showstopper, right? You don't have time to clear everything. Set up for it.
Flash drive out, showstopper finds him. Execute going to be taken down. TP having to be canceled as well.
30 seconds left.
Carpe nearby, spots one, but Medusa way too fast for him. Finds the headshot. Now it is just Izu
Spike
having
planted.
to try to pull off a 1v3.
And a relatively quiet start to stage one. Still not quite where he would want to be himself. But if he can make this clutch, he's right back in it. Look at these angles that DFM's holding.
How do you isolate this? That smoke would be one way to try to help it, but as he swings the corner, Anthem will be able to take him down. It's going to be 7-5 at the half. DFM, they let that streak come through from the side of T1, but they stabilize off the back of the timeout.
An incredible recovery from DFM. And a big part of it that helps is, of course, the pistol round as well. The pistol and the anti-eco puts them up at the 2-round start in the very beginning of Ascent. See if they can recreate that magic in the second half, because if they do, we could be on for a very, very interesting best of 3 tonight.
Absolutely could be. Well, we'll see how they fare. Just get ready to swap sides. I mean, again, you know, quiet from Neth. 2 kills in the last round. Fairly impactful. Now he gets to go this defensive Cypher setup. Really try and shine.
Yeah, obviously just a Jet on the other side, right? We don't have the raise for Saya player. So it's a question of what T1 can do to clear that out. How do they identify it early?
Well,
and we've heard this music before.
we have.
And it's T1 on stage.
Yay! A tech pause!
Listen, we've been getting through them pretty quickly. It's not on the T1 side, it seems. So
Yeah.
we'll see if it gets resolved in a quick moment, as it generally has been here for stage 1.
Yeah. We've kept Jake off Twitter.
Yes.
Not
that's
allowed
true.
him to
Away
curse
from
anything.
anything that he can write with, quite frankly.
Yeah.
So
He's not even allowed a pencil.
imagine we just have a bodyguard that follows Jake around.
Slaps pencils and pens out of his hands. See, I have to sign this contract for VCT Pacific.
You have to get off the you have to get off the premises, sir. Just takes him out across the street.
It's a $2 billion sponsorship deal. Doesn't matter.
Hopefully it will be resolved promptly. But in the meantime, we can of course talk about the Smash overall. So GFM, let's talk about the positives that we've seen, because they have made it quite close with a 5-7 half. And you're only 2 rounds down. Took them a little while, but understanding the fact that T1 was catching on to their default screens, things like that. Understanding that the benefit of that Viper means that T1 has to push out for information. So waiting for that. Those were all the first steps well done. Now sometimes they would start to get a little too cautious and you would run into the whole old habit of playing it a little too safely, things like that. But is that a drawing? It's surely got to be printed and stickered on. Oh, very well done.
Bringing fans to the next level. A lot of art. I mean, there you
Well,
go.
that's a drawing.
Yeah, nice little drawing of
Wow.
Saya player.
Yep. Yeah, side player with his desk as well. You can see the the shoulders are at pretty much close to 180 degrees there.
Carpe fan since L Season 1.
Wow, that's way back.
I was a fan since Apex Season 1.
Yeah, you one up those fans, Achilles. You show who's the real fan.
No, but I mean, it does just go to show, you know, even though we're still kind of in the nascent phases of Valorant. You know, it's been a couple years of play. First year of, second year of franchising, really.
Yeah, I mean, we had this even in Challenger's career as well, right? With players like Zumba, even Bunny, joining F4Q, making that big wave, bringing over a lot of fans who may not have had initial interest in Valorant, but then really getting caught up in the charm of it as they're following some of these players and teams.
I think there's plenty of people out there who just say, you know what, like, even if I don't even fully enjoy what they're playing, I enjoy that player so much that I'm going to keep watching no matter what. But yeah, I mean, these guys, even with Valorant being somewhat new, Carpe stepping into it very recently, he already has a very storied career behind him, so a veteran of the FPS space in his own right. But tech pause taken care of. We are now into the halftime break. 30 more seconds to run down here. Coaches to discuss and figure out how they want to approach this. I mean, DFM, a very solid start with that pistol round win. That's what they're going to be looking for again. Just bring that gap down to just one round separating them.
It's going to be a tough pistol for T1. You're going up against a Cypher and a Viper, without things to clear out that util with sure certainty. So we'll see how that comes into play. What do they have in mind? I don't know if they even expected this composition from DFM, quite frankly. As a lot of times you see some of these quote-unquote weaker teams just going with the meta picks and trying to replicate things as best as possible. But DFM says we've got our own interpretation this time. 16-10 for May. A great first half, leading the entire server.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think, you could maybe expect a lot of the composition, but the Rays might be the thing that threw them the most there. But May, incredible so far. It's a hot start for Saya, but May has since overtaken.
Yes, this should do.
This is
now how they fare with this one.
Hard read from DFM, by the way.
Four-man stack.
Four-man stack and both trips. They bought both trips and the toxic screen for A. It's just Medusa hanging out on B. If this pays off, I don't know what prep you did, but DFM, you may be on for a big night.
So far, not really in any kind of committed position, and DFM are going to start drifting away from this, given that they do have the Cypher util set up. So they were ready for any kind of really aggressive rush in onto the site, try to counteract, but now they are going to be split off a bit, as the camera does get cleared out there by side player, eventually noting it.
But it's still the jet that they saw. You still got the trips there as well. Another smoke to refresh. So I love this wraparound from DFM as well. Now, it's hard to read Xcurit's position, but there are multiple people in mid. So if they ever choose to go for the flank, should be able to go for the trade. That's
smoke coming through, but they're already all in front of this one, so they're not going to be too fooled by the movements here.
The real question is can Neth stay alive for his trips to delay? As long as he does not get picked off early, that's the big question.
Anthem spotted pushing forward. You can see Neth playing quite far back again, just avoiding those 0 points coming through. A little bit of spam on the right clicks. Paint shells has been sent in. Rossi going to be tagged down about 74, sends up the fragment to delay the approach here onto Heaven. Isu takes a very aggressive position. Fragment lobbed in, Boombot not getting it, but Isu finds two! Instantly pulls the trigger and it is rewarded. May and Neth both taken down. That's a fantastic start to this post plane here for the side of T1.
So much to clear here for Cess.
Oh, Xcurit spotting him. He does manage to play elusively, but he's between a rock and a hard place. Now the smoke goes down. Instant little head tap there. Gets the finisher. Anthem on the drop will be able to finish off Isu, but the rest of the team cleans it up. It's going to be T1 tying up the count and pistol round wins.
T1 played so calmly because they recognized the trips immediately, and then they slowed things down as they've all been decayed through the toxic screen. That's what saves them from the right-click spam of Neth on tree, and then this, Isu way ahead of the Boombot. They don't expect a thing.
One enemy remaining.
Snap reaction there as Medusa just bouncing around the corner. Solid work there from the side of T1. Now moving up by 3. And they have a hell of a lot of firepower here behind them. Saw what Saya was able to get done with that Marshall the first time out. Sessa in a bad spot. Flash in. Gets him tucked into the corner, but the main shell's not deep enough to really find a huge amount of damage. Isu leading the way, gets a second double kill, back to back in that regard. Looks for a little bit more, and Neth will be able to just spray across through that toxic screen. Just take him down, but the weapon be recovered. Looks like the answer is going to be no. Neth now gone. Saya able to snipe him out. As Anthem trying to dance around, but yeah, they know exactly where he is. Now it's all on Medusa to see if he can deal any kind of additional damage, but Saya is ready right as the door shuts. T1 now 9-5.
All right, gave up the pistol. Have to give up the eco. Now DFM, 3 half armors. See what the buy is here for T1. They've got a couple options, right? You could really try to snowball it. Still go with something like the Outlaw if you recognize the situation. Just Saya player things.
Yep. See what he lands on here as far as the weapons are concerned. And you mentioned the Outlaw. There it is.
Yeah, I like the heads-up play here. In theory, what should have been your bonus, obviously you're well ahead of it.
Oh.
Gets tagged.
He does. Just to knock down to 60 HP. Not quite the Pulvey shot from yesterday, but
That was insane.
decent enough damage there.
So trips have been cleared. Now recognizing DFM, you saw the ping. They know that they're weak now on a short. So they'll bring in Medusa over. That means mid is short, so only the cam really helping protect that. But a nice spam through the smoke from Cess.
Drone should have gotten the spot there, but actually 100% certain if it did. Either way, May finds Saya. Carpe now dead.
Down A.
May down to 10 HP, but it's just Rossi and Excurrent left alive here for the side of T1. Excurrent on a deep push could certainly catch people by surprise, but now it looks like they are going to be, suspicious of this, and will get taken down. Rossi on his lonesome says, all right, well, my goal is to now just try to get my ultimate online. Grabs that orb. See where he decides to approach from, but DFM on pace for a flawless here in this round. Flash forces May back.
There was a funny little interaction here. As soon as they heard the A-Orb being taken, Neth runs over to B, and he takes that orb for himself as well, just to make sure they're not feeding him on all the orbs. I like that. A little bit of heads-up play.
Then you just also know you're not going to go punish for it. So in
10
the end,
seconds left.
Rossi, that's about all he can do. Singular orb picked up, a flawless here for DFM. Not going to allow for that conversion to come in. And we'll keep things tight-knit once again. Just 3 rounds between these two teams.
Yeah, flawless is huge for DFM. Buy up some of those armors. Of course, for T1, I mean, the Outlaw drop, not a big deal. You'll still be able to compete on this round. But as it goes, you only get one more shot to really try to keep the lead.
Yeah, I thought maybe just right out of the peripheral that they might have been able to see. That lurked there from Medusa. I think he might have actually gone unnoticed by the drone.
This goes here.
Either way, good for May to just swing in, flush Saya out of tree.
Shutting them down.
Adjustment on that trip near tree as well. They put it in a little bit deeper just to make sure that it's not a wraparound all the way through heaven.
Cut off a potential window approach, maybe. Haven't quite seen which way it's aligned.
Oh, and the orb control to deny the potential no command as well. Very heads up from DFM. It doesn't really build up towards any crucial ultimates on their side. They did give it to Medusa. Slow creep up towards that Viper's Pit. Now this cam has been very useful for them, right? They don't really have to push mid too hard to gain information. They'll always spot it before the cam goes out.
He's also been sat on it, so you're not really hearing the toggle. Now they'll know exactly where it is, clear it out, but dart has to be removed.
Why destroy?
So he's just working his way forward. 0 point comes across. Looking to be shot. Medusa needing to push forward, rushes in, tries to capitalize, gets a little bit of damage. Nope. He will lose his life. Side player able to find that one, but now May takes out Rossi. Pushes back through the smoke, finds Izu, gets extra in. On for the ace! Can't quite pivot fast enough to find Saya player, but now Saya in such a dire situation. Tries a tailwind forward, but Anthem can just swing out of boats, finish him off.
No
That is going to be DFM. Not a flawless this time around, but still looking incredible. Keep this gap damn close. 2 rounds now, separating them as May's just continuing to be exactly what DFM needs it to be.
You look at this, absolutely rejuvenate DFM, because when May started pushing through that smoke, I thought, surely you don't push this again, but then that's when you hear the flash drive pop right above his head, and you know it's a setup from his team. They have the faith that he's the one who can really recreate a lot of space, and of course, they were still holding on to the site as well. Backside still safely tucked in. So just trying to dwindle the numbers, make sure they alleviate a little bit of that stress. That draws out that timeout from T1.
Their first of the map used. Ottoman Company certainly not going to be happy with how close things are at the moment. Granted, yes, this is DFM's map pick, but I mean, it's DFM. I mean, I can't say it any other way.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
nothing against them, but they haven't really pushed anyone to the limit, right?
Yeah.
Let alone take a win. And Ascent, sure, you change your comp, it's the meta comp for T1, but it's a map that's been around for so long. All your players have had their moments on it. And so you got to imagine they thought, no matter what, we're able to win this. Now, Ascent was also one of the maps that Anthem, once he started calling on the previous DFM last year, started to have some good reads and calls. So maybe a little bit of comfort there for him as well. Oh, the nice switch up on the cam. Still able to absolutely gain information if there's a push up mid, but this one is going to be hard to spot, even if it gets a tag.
Knife deployed. One suppressed.
Suppression there onto Excurate.
Look at the setup from DFM. They recognize you're one away from the no command, so even if you take the B orb, Cypher's all the way on A. Yeah, and everything.
Oh, he spotted two, but I don't think he's been spotted at all. There
but
you
he
go.
gets
2 for 1. Rossi, easy. Both going to be taken down. Arbe is able to rush forward, finds that elimination. Would love to try to grab the gun, but he's just a bit too concerned now. Tagged. Cam there at Pizza. Dart through. Swing out. Medusa eating quite a bit of damage. Not enough in reply, but they are just not ready for the lurks there from Anthem. Wall goes down. So too does Excurate. DFM just one round away from tying us up at 9-9.
An incredible round set up off of the timeout. You recognize the first step is probably the potential no command on B, so you're not going to press for it in case that there is a bit of a half buy, but you empty it, right? Cypher on the other side, trips are still online.
Nice.
You got a hidden cannon
Nice,
mid.
Captain.
May peeks off of a smoke. It's just step by step, and then May, of course, good for the double as well. Everything coming together for DFM, and you can just see what these singular round wins mean for May and the crew.
I mean, yeah, guys having a whale of a time. Top fragging in the lobby, keeping the team so tight-knit against T1. And he's just like, yeah, nice.
I mean, this is a guy who used to be part of the conversation when a lot of the fans of the Japanese scene would talk about the likes of Laz and Depp, right? You say, well, May's another one coming up. Never really got that chance to shine on a global stage. Now he's given it, squandered a bit in kickoff, but he's not going to miss out on the opportunity this time.
The man has inherited effectively a fallen kingdom. And he's looking to rebuild it, and so far the construction is going damn well. Showstopper still at the ready. Little approach coming through. That's going to be paint shells out. No command now pops. TP forward. Side player does eat quite a bit of damage there.
Death in hell, though.
I mean, this time May doesn't have to do anything. Death finds two. Death gets another one. Rossi able to swing out. Gets rid of the member in hell, but
A. 30
can't
seconds
quite
left.
transfer up onto Neth. Suddenly it is just Excurate all on his lonesome.
The reads are absolutely solid from DFM. I mean, knowing the tendencies, and then also a lot of it, I think, is just also trusting that their toxic screen will bring the value that it's meant to, right? This time they set up the toxic screen to deny mid and
10
B
seconds
control.
left.
You know how T1 used to play the Viper as well. Maybe just using that against them and saying, yep, this is our intended setup. And push them to the other side.
Nothing else to do.
And there's not much, right, with this meta composition. You got to play so much more passively to overcome the Viper setups, and T1's not a team that wants to do that.
We're now tied up at 9-9.
But look at the ult economy, a little bit in favor of DFM. Now, sure, you could argue that T1's ultimates ultimately are a bit more valuable, a little bit more impactful. But DFM, one step ahead.
We haven't seen them being able to really utilize these ults well, just generally. It's been rough for them in that regard.
Get out of my way.
Need to be able to, those ults ready, get success from them. Side player, Knives popped once again, creeping his way down mid. Swing on the corner, May's gonna be there. There he is, looks for it. 2 knives sent, kill not found. May continuing to just reposition, just in case that repeat comes in, try to be a bit unpredictable. Also had the backup there.
But look at just how fluid DFM can be thanks to this cam. They can empty mid at any point. He can still watch it. He's still got cyber cages to protect himself from B main.
Time Cam. Dart, I think, goes a little bit wide, but Medusa's shot does not. Isu going to be taken down. Showstopper now at the ready.
Oh,
in towards
boy.
Market, and he gets two for his trouble. Saya player will be able to come up with 2 headshots. May and Medusa both going to be taken out. Knives needs a reset. 2 more to work with. 3 players that he has to be concerned about. Stack up, and there you go. Tess eventually is able to find the headshot, and DFM find themselves in a lead.
Since, round 4 when they got tied up, they bring it back, and in very good fashion too. It's the complete package. It's hard reads on the round setup. It's reads on the tendencies. You've got the trap plays. You've got good comms. The rotations are there. I mean, yes, it's almost an entirely new roster, but even much more upgraded than kickoff as well.
Nice up.
I mean, clearly DFM have not been resting on their laurels during the Madrid break. This team has clearly been putting in the work. Now find themselves up by a round here in this set. I think that's eluded them, ever since round 2.
Yes.
They got the pistol, they got the anti-eco, and then it's been T1 pretty much the whole way since then until this very moment. 3 more to go to close this out. What a boon it would be for them, given that this is their map pick, that what is waiting for you over on Lotus. But hey, if May is going to be playing Raze like this,
True.
oh, I mean, they could find a victory on Lotus as well.
I mean, the real question on Lotus is, do you get past Excurit's chamber, of course, but we'll have to wait and see if it even gets to that point. Maybe
Given
they
the
shut
form
down
right now.
Yeah, early on. 7 kills to his name on Excurit. Another switch on the screen, the Toxic screen, this time doubled up with the Cypher as well. I mean, you've got the pit. Eventually, if you want to make some fast rotates back over to A, they're going to do a fast push out. It's going to be a pinch onto A with the flash drive.
Nade out, up over the top. There's the flash. There's the 2 kills. Isu just trying to TP into the corner. It says, God, I play Omen. I'm playing Omen right now.
It's just so clean. The coverage from Cess as well.
They know what they're doing, what they're going to do in every single moment, and I don't know how DFM is doing this.
I mean, yeah, to have this many hard reads, I mean, like that play for sure, okay, doing it off of a timeout seems reasonable, but then to have the coverage high-low, to watch the potential shrouded step, to be listening out for it, I mean,
look, there's still more to be played, but if you told me coming into this week that DFM was going to have the hardest counter-stratting out of all of the teams in the region, I would have called you a liar.
well, and against a team that wasn't at Madrid, so you don't have that much tape. I mean, sure, they got through to the playoffs.
Okay.
Oh, the Cam
Saya,
spots him as
yeah.
well.
Spotted, take it down. It's just been so crisp. RP just decayed all the way down, but what more can you do? Just back away. Hold on to your weapons. The timeout. These 2 that have been invested from T1 bearing absolutely no fruit here for the squad. DFM, in 19 seconds time, they're going to be moving up to 11 rounds.
Getting very close. Now it's really just a matter of, as long as DFM, doesn't get too antsy, doesn't overheat, doesn't start to lose control of their own excitement perhaps. Because, thinking back to, for instance, this round, it's off of a timeout. Like, even if it's not hard counter-stratting, you think about how they set that up. Off of a timeout, we want to make sure that we now up the tempo on A side, change up the Toxic screen again. But this time, it's Cypher and Viper doubled up. You still got the pit as a backup. So if you push out A main, if there's no one there, you pit up, you got the trips. Like, everything is covered. And this is just some thorough Valorant here on this map 1. And another, they never place things in the same spot, because now you have Cypher and Viper, essentially 2 Sentinels. It's just incredible.
Remember, stack up here for B. May just going to be flying back. So you can go for a quick rotate should it be necessary.
And note, delayed Toxic screen this time, so they don't know exactly where it's set up before the round begins. T1, they understand that the screen has really been plaguing them, so they'll try to deny its value early with a push-up from Saya.
I'm not spotting much there. Flash is trying to stave them off, stop any kind of peek from coming through there at B main. Looks like Spike now just going to be ushered back across the map towards the opposite side here, where Meth and Sessa ready for this push to come in.
I mean, Cess is prepared with the paranoia. He knows, he has full faith that Neth will cover him. Not only will you get first sight with a cam, you still got a cyber cage, you still got a trip.
Cage
Turn
triggered.
around for the
Cage
smoke.
triggered.
On cleared,
Tripwire destroyed.
flashes out. Cyber cage goes up though. Plenty of obfuscation as May spraying into that smoke. Works Isu down, 45 HP on him. Carpe as well, chunked down. Saya trying to break his way up through window. Immediately has to pull away from the angle. Paint shell still held. TP forward alongside the box. Isu able to find one. May trades it back, gives himself a second as Carpe will fall. May now send Saya player stuck in hell. Knocked down to 51 HP. May just doing so much damage to him. Boombot on the chase.
This just tags everybody as it's bouncing around.
The Boombot knows where everyone is. Fragment into the corner. Check switch side. Nothing noted, but gun barrel spotted. Saya dead. Swing comes in. May gonna fall. Rossi able to find two, but do they read this? Medusa drops down. It's been heard. He finds the first. Execurate eliminated. Swing out from Rossi.
Oh.
And he will bail them out. A 3K from the KO. It's T1. And we'll inch this back towards a damn near tied up game. 11-10. DFM still in the lead, still with cash in the bank.
I mean, T1 held on to this round with their dear life. They knew they had to commit to these fights, so they're constantly swinging out in doubles. That's what really saved them at the end, making sure they're staying one step ahead on the trades, because otherwise, honestly, the response from DFM was once again pretty good. They even made sure that they checked window again for that lurk in from Saya. Anthem catching sight of that brings back May and denies that flank. So now with that null command online, once again, it's a Cypher on A site.
He's about to drop 30.
Wow. And we may not even go to overtime. That's insane. I mean,
I believe I read it correctly. I think he's
Right here.
29-16 at the moment.
T1, they pop this null command. They're going to think they can just waltz in, and that's just not going to be the case. One of the trips have been cleared.
Shockdart does clear that one out. May going to be taken down. Carpe with a fantastic opening kill. Go to the line share of the damage. There's a ping on the reveal. Rossi going to be dropped. Medusa able to put him down, but is Rezible. Back into the fight. Script picking him up.
Oh!
Medusa coming up with two, keeping the numbers evened up here. Rossi just backs away. Point set, but it's quite shallow. Doesn't catch on to anybody here from DFM. Roll theft available. Just get Neth over to a corpse.
And you've got a paranoia and a flash drive as well. All the tools you need.
Scared putting some shots through across there as they jump their way over. 1 for 1 there. Side player just get taken down immediately after finding Anthem. Neural Theft now invested. Execute pulling off the angle after spotting them here. The reveal is in. Swing down onto the site. Rossi dead. Execute needs to try to 1v2 this. He gets the first. Death low on HP, but with a shorty in hand. Jumps into boats, takes him down, gets the defuse, and DFM get themselves up to map point.
What a hero play. You're the one lower in health. You still just jump in with the shorty. It's the Hail Mary, because otherwise you don't have time to jiggle around. We've seen so many ring around the rosies there that really deny the time for the defuse. And now map point for DFM. Again, these setups, T1 just not ready for it. A great double for Medusa to buy time. Things like this, Cess going up high, ready for the crossfire. I mean, DFM, everything is thought through step by step.
I think they're a little bit worried.
I mean, listen, you got to be worried until it's over.
Well, potentially the last round here of this map. May at 29 kills, 1 away from a showstopper. Null command online for Anthem, but a multitude of ultimates here for T1 to try to keep themselves in this and take this up to overtime. Lockdown, Hunter's Fury. Can they get in a position to utilize these? For now, it's side player leading the charge, op in hand, fearlessly working his way up through tree.
You should run.
Spotted there by the cam. Lockdown now. Committed to. Space not really being taken quite just yet. Let's start working their way forward now. Cyber Cage coming in. May up here on Heaven. Bob in as Izu.
Oh!
Absolutely unexpected. Comes in, strikes. Takes out 2. That is monstrous. Now Null Command going to be burned here by Anthem. They want to end this right here, right now. Side player taken down a 3v3. As Carpe, he's committed onto the site. As Hunter's Fury not in a position to really find an immense amount of value. Drop down around the back. Carpe puts that Stinger to use, finds one. Anthem gone, but now Medusa and Neth versus Rossi and Extra. They're both so damn low. Stinger finds one. Extra with 31 HP cannot make it happen. Neth gets the 3K. He will get the defuse once more. And DFM, in their opening series here on stage 1, will get their map victory.
What a map from DFM. They showed exactly why they picked this ascent. And they bring home a map victory. Sure, it's not the full match just yet, but it's been a long time since they've had even a map win. DFM didn't get a map win since April 29th last year. In fact, against T1 in Week 6. Since then, they have not gotten a single map win under the DFM banner.
Well, as a spoiler, we did not get to see May drop 30 kills, but good God, what a performance from him. The analyst desk has a hell of a lot to talk about. Not much time to talk about it, so we'll go ahead and pass it over to them.
Thank you so much, casters. Ladies and gentlemen, sit down because DFM finally wins their first game in what feels like forever. Like William said, we have not even seen a game win since last year against T1, funnily enough. And Ascent went out, we can see why they pick Ascent. They were so well prepared for this. They completely anti-stratted T1, and they were on form, looking good as a team.
Yeah, well, I think it's kind of interesting to me. They came in with the Raze comp like I wanted to see, but that was me assuming that it was going to be going against the Cypher Viper comp on this map, but T1 actually changed it up, maybe unexpectedly, to DFM, so I don't know exactly what their thought process was or if they expected that this change might happen. I'm sure they're prepared for it. I'm sure they played against this comp in their scrims. 100% that's happened. So regardless, still great stuff for them, great preparation. You have to be so excited. Kilius is like, you guys have a lot to talk about. I'm like, no, I don't. They won. I'm just so happy they won. That's all I care about.
Yeah, I feel like we got to fork out some Valorant points pretty soon. So we got to bring our wallets out to buy the DFM team capsule because that was an incredible game. I mean, the first half looked a little bit even, but throughout the whole map, you could start to see that players like, I mean, of course, still May dropping a lot of frags, getting these great entries. But overall, it's just the fact that DFM as a whole look a lot more cohesive. They would have these set plans, these great protocols where you have the KO tossing the flash, Main with a clear flight path into sight, making use of the showstopper. Everything connects. Everything is flowing for this team.
Absolutely. I'm on, like Paperthin said, I'm almost speechless to the point where I'm just genuinely very happy to see this. We all are, to see this kind of performance coming from them, and May blowing it out of the water here as a Raze.
Oh, he was so on point. I mean, the blast packs look really good, timings look good. Like you were talking about, Quack, good support from Anthem in particular, had a really nice setup with the KO. Everybody kind of pulling their weight behind May. Even though you have a little bit of a role change in the back there, you know, Neth going back to Cypher, but I'm pretty sure, if my memory's serving me correct, that he used to play a lot of Cypher back when he was on Crazy Raccoon. So, like, absolutely everybody in their comfort zone, but May is him. Like, this is the next duelist. He's finally kind of coming into his own. We've seen flashes of it before, but now it is the May show.
I mean, he's definitely landing some incredible shots, some sweet double multi-kills, and it happens pretty darn often as well. You would also see some of the other players, like Cess, for example, who not only just providing him with cover, but they have the audacity to go in for some crazy antics, like jumping right clicks, and it kind of throws T1 in for a bit of a loop sometimes. I mean, pretty nice moment from Rossi inside of that dark cover for the time being, but apart from that, like, you can see that DFM definitely trying to push a lot more pressure up against T1. And so many of these rounds where, you know, T1 tries to go in for retakes, it feels like they had their work cut out for them. You know, we start things off with DFM picking up the pistol, and they just picked up momentum after that.
Yeah, they just had T1 red, especially in that second half, every step of the way, and they just climbed back, gained back every single round, and before we knew it, they were well in the lead.
I mean, and that goes back to the protocols that Quack mentioned earlier, like especially on its defensive side, like their ability to react to things properly is a big part of it. And look at the way they set up those combos there. You're seeing it right here on your screen. Everything we've been hinting at, you're now seeing. It was just such good coordination. So this is huge credit to the coaching staff here for DFM coming through, getting them well drilled no matter what. Because I think you probably could have anticipated a different comp from T1 potentially, but either way, you're still there, you're still mentally prepared, you're still making good decisions for the most part. I think the only time I was kind of upset with the decision anybody on DFM made was actually May in that 1v2 where he's in wine with the showstopper on a post plant. Like, why'd you wide swing that? But other than that, everything else was pretty darn good.
We can confirm that moment when Paper Thin was very offended
He
by that
started to
decision.
maul.
Anybody in the building can confirm.
Like, why wouldn't you use the showstopper? But it doesn't matter because they won that map pick. But the next map is Lotus. Now, T1 did lose Lotus to Paper Rex, but generally they only lose this Lotus to Paper Rex. They're actually quite good on Lotus. So I'm wondering how DFM is going to do this time around. Are they going to bring forth that energy, carry forth that energy from the first map into this? And are we going to push forward into 2-0, or is it going to be a 3-mapper?
Well, I mean, certainly you would think so. You know, after winning a map like that against T1, denying them that overtime, and not only that, just looking pretty clean with some of the ideas that they have, clearing out Hell, for example, over on A site. On towards Lotus, you must be feeling a lot more confident, and I feel like that's something that you can really bring with you. Not only that, you know, you have the effect, you have that same kind of strategy from Ascent, whereas T1 doesn't really know what your game plan is. T1 doesn't really, you know, study you up that much because you haven't really shown all that much before. Meanwhile, DFM knows that this is probably the exact composition that T1's going to run. You always expect Excurate on this chamber. He's got the Operator, he's got the Tour de Force, and he's locking down and posting up on a lot of positions. If, you know, players like May, or along with support from Cess, for example, they can go in for wide swings, throw off his crosshairs, that could really throw T1 off kilter. Like, they might just be knocked off balance because the entire team's like positioning and everything is just thrown off.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, and I think to kind of maybe the thing I'm really thinking about, I guess, in regards to that aspect is, what's your initiator going to be? Is it going to be Sky or is it going to be Fade? Because how do you want to keep that chamber uncomfortable, right? I think everybody's looking at Excurate here as kind of the pivot point, the main factor for T1 that might set them over the line in this match. So I'm thinking, which one of those initiators do you feel like is going to be the more comfortable option to deal with it? And I think that you can make good cases for both, but I think maybe on Lotus, with the way that Excurate plays it, I think maybe the Sky actually might be better here with the flashes to keep him off balance, because the Prowlers and things like that probably aren't going to be getting close enough to him, and you have to have some pretty amazing lineups with the Seizes to get them into range of him, and the Haunts aren't really going to be an issue. So I could see them sticking with the Sky here and not really changing up their comp as well.
Gotta agree. I mean, I feel like with the Flash, you know, at least you would have to at least turn away, and then, you know, crosshair-wise, that would be tough for Excurate as well. Or he just gets fully blinded, and that's just better for May to come in with these kills, and that's exactly what, you know, DFM needs. But apart from that, I would also just like to see Medusa being consistent. You know, so far he's been good on Ascent. If he can keep that up against a player like Saya player, that would be even better.
Now, we have a game we need to play. We have so much to comment on this, and I love your thoughts on it. But the question this time is, which team do you think will get 5 rounds first?
5 rounds first.
5 rounds first.
What?
We don't have much time, so you guys gotta pick.
Pain. Who starts on which side again?
Yep. Well, you know
Remind
what?
me.
You got like 5 seconds to pick. It is T1 on attack.
All right. Okay.
All right. You guys ready?
Sure.
3, 2. All right.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I've broken away from him.
You have.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
They start
Why?
on attack.
Because they started on attack.
That's my reasoning from before.
Yeah.
All right.
And you know what? Weren't they the first 5 rounds up? I can't remember actually anymore. How about you? Why DFM?
Just riding the DFM hype train, honestly. I feel like they definitely have a chance to surprise T1, and T1 looking at how they might not be feeling too hot right now. I think DFM has a chance.
That worked for me last time.
Yeah.
Just going with the field pick. So,
Yeah,
you know.
that's true. But I'm like, I have the same pick as Paper Thin now, so I'm feeling good about that.
I don't know about that.
We are going to go to agent picks real soon. I do like your input on which initiator. Anthem is a phenomenal Sky. Very much like how Devi is. Okay, we're going to go to agent picks in a little bit. Devi, it did work as a Sky. I don't think Sky is necessarily the best initiator for Lotus, but in this case, especially when you're going against a chamber, especially an X-Curate chamber, that might be the answer.
Yeah, I think so. I think it puts a lot of pressure as well onto your controllers to make sure that those angles are smoked off properly, because I saw a few times with Paper X where they kind of left X-Curate's positions a little open for my taste and kind of, paid the price for it. I mean, yeah, they still won, but things like that have to be accounted for. So certainly the Sky's fine. I mean, if they want to run the Fade 2, I can see where that's going to work. You're just going to be a little bit more diligent with some of those smokes in particular. So like players like Sessa and things like that are going to be called upon a little bit more to make sure that they're being proper with that. Regardless as well, if you're going to be committing util, initiator util to deal with the chamber, you're also going to need to make sure that those paranoias are on point, assuming you're playing Omen, which pretty much everyone does. So you got to make sure that those are hitting to set May up as well.
I know T1. You mentioned this briefly, Quack. While DFM is probably running on a high right now, T1, have we seen historically do they get shaken up by losses? Do you think they'll be shaken up this time?
That's a great question. I feel like they already are.
Yeah, I mean, they're the first team to lose to DFM.
Precisely. Visibly, not only that, like the player cams, you can see like sometimes not really that much communication. So they really need that mental reset. That's very important for T1 right now, because it's not just the fact that they lost the first map. There's so much pressure. You don't want to be that first team that loses to DFM. And not only that, there's like so much for them at stake, because we are in Korea. After all, T1's such a big org, big team, high expectations. They have done so well. Can they keep that up? I feel like there's a chance, because they almost pushed first map into overtime. Izu started to have some crazy moments. Side player definitely tried his darndest, but in some situations, I mean, DFM's teamwork was really up there.
Yeah, especially if they do manage, this becomes a 1-1 situation. Sunset, I mean, T1 has proven their mettle on Sunset too, so this could also turn around against DFM. But we want to see the DFM win. This could be the day. We want to see that turnaround. We want to see that progression from all the teams. But it's a tough one to say at this point. This was a bit unexpected.
Yes, it is in a way. But again, it's something that you could feel that it could happen, because the team was very different from what it was last year. It's players, again, who played together for a long time on multiple different orgs and stuff like that. So this is like the right recipe for something that can start to build, that can start to excel. Okay, we saw it on one map, great. Now are we going to be able to see it beyond that? Are they going to be able to build into more map wins? Are we going to be able to see this coordination continue to come through? Are other players going to be able to step up along with May? I mean, obviously it's great that he's dropping these huge kill games, but that's not going to be, it's never consistent, no matter who you are. Even the best duelists in the world, even Aspas, can't do that all the time, right? So you still need to have some more support behind him. I still saw a few moments from some of the players that looked a little bit not confident with their aim, I'll put it that way. And that needs to be cleaned up, because everything else started to look much, much better.
Yeah, that's right. My other question is, who do you think is going to hit Iron first?
Well, he's much closer to it.
Do you have one of those with my bald head on it? Like, 'cause that would
Wow.
be, yeah, that would be it. That would be the answer.
Just pull up the scorecard.
I mean, the Iron Buddy, like, I see some of the pro players equip that Iron Buddy.
I'll just admit it. Like,
It's a precious commodity.
It's rarer than the Radiant Buddy.
well, this is so funny to me, because like people don't realize, like, the players can choose whatever they want. They have full, when they're playing in game, like they can pick. I mean, you see them with other teams, like classics sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, I think someone said that. I think Will pointed out that somebody had the Sentinel Classic during that last match.
That's right.
Or 2 matches ago during against Gen G.
It's been done. I don't know how the orgs feel about it, but it's been done. Anyway, we didn't get to answer this question. Which bundles are you guys going to get first?
I guess it might be DFM. It might.
It's looking that way.
Really
We're getting
be
close.
DFM pretty soon.
I was already going to get that one pretty much 100% because I like the design of the gun and the banner. for sure. It's like more my style. Paper X was up there because purple's my favorite color. So
Purple's your color?
yeah.
Purple's
Crew
your
as well,
favorite
obviously. So like teams
Yeah.
like that, I was like already like eyeing those. But at DFM, they might do it right here, right now. I
Yeah,
don't know.
this could be it. This could be your first bundle.
Actually, still kind of hoping for it, yeah.
Yeah, I think we definitely do want that. I know the players are still setting up right now for this second match, which I'm dying to see at this point. I hope their momentum really carries on to Lotus. And T1, in a way, if they don't win today, we had mentioned this is really not a good look going into that first match for them on Saturday against DRX. And when you have two Korean teams facing each other in home turf here in Korea, we know the stadium's going to be completely packed. Just the other day, even T1 Paper X, I believe DRX was playing that day as well. It was completely packed in the stadium. The energy is really high. The crowd was chanting, and this is kind of rare in Korea. I don't hear a lot of chanting happening here except for like grand finals events, but they were full on last time.
They only do it for teams that they really love, the really popular ones. And they started chanting for Paper X a little bit last year. It's just full stadium of DRX fans. But now, you're absolutely right. T1 versus DRX, that's going to be a little bit rough if T1 doesn't come up with the win right now. They did pick Lotus. We know how strong they have been. Again, DFM could have studied up on it. I'm just thinking about how T1 might be able to, repair and fix their strategies given the short amount of time that they have. What we saw from before was that, that there's that A rubble control very often from all the teams. But Paper X often had Forsaken lurking, flanking the heck out of T1. If T1, start to get a little bit paranoid, getting a little bit in their own heads, it just feels like a tough game. They really need a mental reset.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. I think mental is definitely the thing that's plaguing T1 right now. I think they took that loss to Paper X a little bit too hard. Kind of tell with the players after the match that it was in their minds, and this is going to take a big time reset from them and their coaching staff to get them back into place. Even if they win this match today here, this is going to be in your mind. That losing this map is definitely going to be on their minds.
Absolutely, and this is not no disrespect to DFM either, but it's just they've just become known as that team that had a 0 win streak for so long. Now we're looking at the stats between Mei and Saya player, and this is fantastic output for Mei right now, and I imagine going to Lotus, facing against a Chamber, like pairing up with a Sky. I think this could be really tough for T1.
I agree. I really feel like with what I saw from DFM, that they at least have a good idea of how to play within themselves for sure. Their protocols seem pretty good now. It seems like they've really cleaned that up a lot since kickoff. So it's just a matter of, are you going to be able to handle Xcurate's Chamber in particular? That seems to be kind of the biggest piece of the puzzle for most teams dealing with him, because if he pops off, forget it, especially on their defender side. He's just shutting you out. And then on the attacker side, Saya's kind of leading the way. So if you can kind of keep those under control, you got to hope Izu doesn't have a monster game. He's capable of those two. Everybody on the team is, but certainly those three are the ones that you really want to keep in check.
If anyone comes to mind for me, I feel like Carpe has to kind of do a little bit more. Because Carpe, obviously is shot calling and everything, but sometimes not being able to find that impact, starting to feel that pressure for yourself, he starts to put himself in certain situations where he's not quite able to perform, and that's just a little bit tough for T1 overall. And DFM, just Mei's having a grand old time on Raze.
We are going to go to our agent picks very shortly. We're going to be getting into the second game. Very keen to see what kind of initiator they will be using. And if they win today, they are going to be winning out that first championship point. And this is why this system this year is so interesting. Teams like DFM could full well be qualifying for champions if they continue collecting these points along the way.
Oh. It is the fade. So that is going to be a change. We do still have this role swap with Neth going over to the Sentinel. But the fade is really going to be interesting to see how they're going to pull this off, to see how they're going to try to keep some of these T1 players uncomfortable. And like we said, the big focus is the Chamber.
I mean, we haven't seen them play Lotus in a while, so they had a couple of weeks. since Madrid, since kickoff, like, and throughout Madrid to figure something out, and clearly they have something.
The one difference being the Killjoy and the Chamber. So I do wonder if DFM has any set plans to go along with this. Obviously, you know, anchoring down side 6C, for example, work pretty well. But apart from that, if you can make use of the lockdown, for example, especially on the attacking side that DFM is starting on, they might just be able to come up with a better first half. I mean, that's really what I want to see from DFM right now. If they are to win this, let's get a good first half.
First half where T1 wins 5 rounds first, and then, you know, then we can do whatever we want because we got our ranks and stuff to go through. But you're looking at, okay, save for Izu, you look at the mood between the two teams right now. You know, we've been looking at the player cams as we go through this. It's a very different kind of energy on DFM side. They're looking happy. They're looking relaxed. It's a bit more somber on the side of T1, and I don't know if that's the kind of, you know, some people work well under stress. A lot of the coaches have remarked on this before. They all deal with stress a little bit differently. Some perform better, and some, well, that's when things start to slip.
Well, and I think the attitude here for DFM has been the right one. It's just, let's have fun, let's have a good day, let's get in there, give our best effort, see what happens. And T1 still, you know, by some circumstance of the way that the schedule shook out, had to go up against maybe the toughest opponent in the league coming out in their first match, and kind of maybe weren't able to react to that the way they would like to, in terms of not only, you know, obviously you want to get the win, but in terms of like mentally resetting coming in today, maybe, you know, didn't quite have enough time to get to that place they wanted to be. But that's part of the game. That's part of what happens. Your schedule is what it is ahead of time, and it's on to those players and coaches to get themselves in a place to be ready to face their next opponent. And again, it's DFM. Like, you know, you'd love to see them get a win, but T1 at the same time, it's going to feel real bad if you're that first team that gives it over. Nobody wants to be that team.
And like you said, it's surprising in a way because it is T1 amongst the 11 teams. I would say safely that most of us would rate T1, you know, on the top half of that power ranking. So for them to show up like this for the first time, this stage 1, this is a great sign. And you can see how touched the audience is there. I saw
Is it May's
there are
birthday?
girls crying. Is it his birthday?
Is it?
Do they have a birthday buff? Is that what this
Somebody
is?
said
what the
birthday
sign
buff on their
said.
sign, but I don't know if it's like their birthday and they're giving him the
Their
birthday
birthday,
buff.
they're
I
giving
didn't see anything on
theirs
Twitter,
as a
but I don't
gift.
know. Yeah. It is
It
today?
was yesterday.
Oh, it's yesterday?
You fools, it was
okay.
yesterday. We have Achilles and Will.
They're shouting
Like,
it.
it was yesterday, you fools. Well, happy birthday. It is the birthday buff. Well, you know what? I think it's more than that. I think they've definitely prepped, but birthday buffs go a long way. It's weird how much we've witnessed that. I believe Team Secret, we had the Jesse Bash birthday buff during kickoff when everything started to turn around for Team Secret.
It does work that way, actually. I mean, certain key events can kind of get your mental turned around, definitely. Those signs, it's a Sesu fan, so that one
Yeah.
on the left, that looks like kind of like a heart there.
Wow, really? There are quite a number of
Some of the
DFM
merch.
fans. Yeah.
There's a lot of DFM fans here.
A ton.
No wonder the stadium is a little bit more alive. We got DFM fans. Of course, the T1 fans are here too.
It's a good day.
This is an exciting day.
Weather's nice today. Everything's great.
Everything's great in Korea. Pacific's just awesome. We have the
Feeding
best
off the
signs.
energy,
We have the
too.
best artists. We have the best casters. We have the best analysts.
Oh, there you go. Oh, that guy's a real T1 fan. Let's go. That's right.
That's the kind of support
That's
we
what we
to
need.
see.
That's what T1 needs to get him going.
All right, we are ready to go into map 2, Lotus between T1 and DFM, and this could be anyone's game. Over to our casters, Achilles and William.
Thank you very much. Yes, it is now time to go into map number 2. Detonation Focus Me out in front, able to get themselves a win on their map pick of Ascent. Now T1 need to try to even up the score line, extend this all the way to a map 3.
Yeah.
They head once more into Lotus. It's been a very steady map for them.
Yes.
You know, dropping it to the likes of Paper X.
But that also means that DFM surely could have predicted that this was going to come out in the draft, and
Sure.
seemingly so, especially with the comp change, going with the more meta fade for the time being.
This is who I have to have my eyes on. Execure it. Continuing to bring out that chamber. Spots one, 3 shots. Takes a couple of those headhunter bullets, but eventually is able to find the elimination. Self build away at, and oh, has even more of them. Now they're all gone. Just to try to clear out that Prowler. Forced away. Into the back here. Continuing to backpedal even further. Just going to be tucked in behind the box. 15 HP here for Excurate. They very much want to try to hunt him down. Do they read this? Yes, they do. May able to find that kill.
They have Waterfall now as well, so this post plant's not so bad for DFM.
Saya able to find one. Right, as Rossi does fall straight through. There's the push out of the smoke, but Anthem able to find Saya.
Still sticking it.
The Fuse being held. They rush him down. The Fuse is going to be there. T1 stealing that one away.
Oh, man. I mean, you could also tell that T1 knew that was the only shot they had. Once he heard all the spam coming in, they had lost all control of positioning. So just Carpe body blocking for Izu, just hoping that they can stick it, and that they do.
A bit of a bittersweet moment there for sure. Clean up the kills, but just can't quite prevent that defuse from coming in. Yep, that's what you gotta do. Just keep that head moving.
I'll find you.
Outlaw now gonna be in the hands here of Excurate as he pivots over towards the A site. Real pressure being applied there, however, by DFM. It's gonna be orb take here from May. 2 kills in that opening round.
Yeah, now, the devs talked a little bit about, you know, the potential of maybe the Sky continuing to return for DFM if you know that you're playing against the Chamber and things like that. So we see a little bit of a trap play. Not going to find any targets. But
standing still.
Yeah, of course, you know, with the Viper, you can still try to creep up. And personally, I'm kind of okay with this.
Okay, orb take coming through. Medusa starting to move, as you can see on the mini-map. And yep, there you go. Good service, snap over at Ross, able to find the headshot. Reveal decent there from the Haunt. Spotting these players up in rope. Carpe holding close, able to make swift work of May.
Planted.
Turret set up, 3 players now on the post plant. Let's see what kind of damage they can deal.
They are already filling the site, so that gives him a shot.
Paranoia does catch on the multiple as they drop down.
One
On the corner though.
remaining.
Saya and Izu will get one apiece. Just Cessin seeing if he can find anything at all, but he cannot. So it's going to be a flawless follow-up here for the side of T1.
Flawless.
Things off nicely with a 2-0. Now though, rifles coming through. Let's see what DFM have up their sleeve.
Yeah, this is a pretty strong collection of weapons to carry over to the bonus as well. Nice snap there from Rossi.
One enemy.
Started the ADS before he even started the flick.
Fist bump, give me a fist bump.
Gotta get those
God,
fist
I need a
bumps.
fist bump!
Don't be like Bane. Don't leave your teammates hanging.
There was a degree of desperation in Carpe's voice.
I mean, I think also just recognizing that it's important to kind of keep the vibes going, right? The conversations going, and Carpe as the IGL and as the captain for the team, that falls on him. Now this is going to be the big one. It's not really always going to be the fade, but more so how much space do you take?
Saya rushing forward. Let's force them back, so mount control going to be there for the side of T1.
Anthem spotted. Paint shells.
Oh, yep. Sees in, paint shell down, Anthem dead. Great catch here for the side of T1 as they look to convert this bonus. Saya player now just going to be a little exit, shots across, take a smattering of damage, but overall, perfectly healthy here are the players at T1. And now they are being ushered over into the patiently welcoming arms of Excurate. Outlaw at the ready. TP set up to take him behind the door. Sees nothing and actually whiffs the shot. Zess with the headshot, able to take him down. Neth now lingering around, looking to try to get the catch. And just can't quite steady that spray. Carpe does manage to find that elimination. That gives the man advantage back over here to T1. Izu first. Try to deal with this plan coming in, but widely. Wait, play patiently for the rest of the team to get rotated over.
May needs to win here on the Robo fight.
Oh, no he doesn't.
Okay, Medusa's just
Medusa's
going to
done
cover
it
for her. Well, that suddenly makes things a lot easier because the post-plant situation was not great for DFM. All spread out across.
I know that there's going to be one at Baby Door. Rossi now as well, noted up top, and Izu not really accounted for. Swing out, Carpe dead. Down 10 HP. Smoke in, Boombot going forward, goes off. Izu down now, 40 HP with just a Spectre in hand. Medusa will finish him off with the classic. As DFM will go ahead and get themselves online in the third round, but it does cost them multiple rifles.
Yeah, but with how things started, of course, Anthem getting caught on the other side, getting Z's-naded, they'll be happy with the round win. They'll still have their selection of rifles. It's just going to be the half armors and a couple abilities missing here and there. And we did see the operator come out on the other side for Excurit, see how that comes into play. But overall, something we're noticing, continuing from Ascent, is the way that they're covering each other's angles. That has been very clean for DFM, even in some tough situations like that post plant.
It's Glass Cannon. All in, full investment here from Excurit. There's Haunt does get the reveal onto one, and there's a spray through. Rossi with that Odin will take down Neth.
So the Killjoy or the Viper going down early does make things a lot more difficult for DFM. Can't be as active on the lurk anymore. So they got to make a choice. Do we just try to swarm whoever has taken over Rubble, or do you try to slow creep and work the revolving door on B and C?
Okay, well, Excurit this time going to be good for the shot. Not going to get punished. Just backpedal over towards the door once again. Got the rendezvous set up, ready to go. Got to range the trademark, but it doesn't matter. You have a double stack of Saya player as well as Rossi just watching their into main. That's again.
Yeah, he's got his number for sure.
Let's take it down. It's a little bit delayed reaction. Unable to find that headshot. Would have been a big opener here.
But it looks like DFM is going to work the fact that, you know, both controllers responded solo to their advantage a little bit. You might have caught a glimpse of Anthem, but at the end of the day, you know that you've now put the focus onto A and C. So the creep into B. Now, perhaps hearing the smoke here from Saya, recognizing that that's the part of the map that they don't have any information on, purposely sends the Paranoid to draw that focus back to A.
He's working on it now that, you know, of course, I don't have to worry about the trademark either with Excurit out of the picture. Slow creep up, Carpe nearby. Side player as well, time ticking, there's the plant.
So they'll get the plant, but how do they
10
keep the
seconds
hold?
left.
It's the forward left corner
Spike
here for
planted.
them. Oh, Seth's still lurking outside.
Carpe's way ahead, and they have no idea because of that Haunt not tagging him.
Continues to inch forward, Paranoia now sent, but Medusa winning out on the duel. Saya player ends up getting dropped. There's the reveal, sits out a snake bite to try to get the delay, but now Anthem going to be gone, but Medusa still holding his ground.
Medusa!
Drags across, gets the 3K. And now it's Izu in a 1v2. Yet again.
Shameful performance.
Tap onto the spike. So there's one above, but it's Medusa finishing him off. 4 kills for him in the round. Pit now online, and the score now tied.
Well, I was in full agreement with the desk when they said they wanted to see if Medusa can continue to be consistent, because he had some ups and downs in their previous showings. But if it's going to be like this...
That is just such a nasty shot.
Yeah, that flick, that third kill. Incredible. After being spotted by the Haunt.
Nutty from him. Now in a position to go ahead and take the lead for themselves. Said Pit already online. That Nightfall just one away. Showstopper as well from May. Nearly built up. As Excurit wanted to take some forward space there, but it's just a headhunter that he would be relying on, and takes a nasty bit of damage. Down to 20 HP now. It's Showstopper up over the top. Excurit nowhere to go. Ends up falling. Nice headshot from Izu. Does manage to equalize. His TP up on top of the box. And it's all too easy. Under the stationary target. Izu go ahead. Ball this one back. Close angle. Prepared for it? No. Neth will be able to shut him down, but he's with 3. It's just absolutely on a tear. Anthem now on his lonesome. As the Nightfall gets committed. Knows where the 2 are. He's got some space to play with.
Yeah,
Weapon's going to be recovered, though.
Still just going to go for the safest play. Try to get the plant on A, it looks like. What's the setup, though? Does he try to go aggressive outwards? That's going to be the call. Doesn't want to wait for them to swarm him.
Get behind Rubble. There's a chance for the surprise, but will just be spotted now, but the damage. Izu going to be TPing. Takes himself right over onto the side. Anthem watching for this as the smoke comes down. 9 HP, though. Cap coming through. He confirms his position. 36 HP here from Anthem. Swing the instant headshot. Izu, what a monstrous round.
The absolute snap on him. And I mean, Anthem was playing it as best as he could, right? He goes for a bit of a wider angle, and then he's creeping back in. Izu accounts for it and just locks on like a laser.
Absolutely disgusting. It all starts with this Sheriff. I mean, it's the 3K just with this one here. Just so crisp. I mean, you don't even even have to shoot him in the head.
Yeah.
Could have shot him pretty much anywhere, but he said, nah, I want to look good doing this.
Snap on.
Ooh. Wow. Izu certainly has woken up a bit more.
Gonna be the push out again for that rubble control.
Last pack at the ready. Take around. Excurrent just going to be holding here inside of B. Tucks back, Prowler. Not necessarily revealing the operator, but they're just doing their damnedest to try to keep this one protected, but it looks like TFM are getting a decent read.
I like it. They realized where that shot came from. It wasn't in front of the Prowler, that's for sure.
Solid awareness here from them. That's Prowler's out of Carpe as well. TFM now just going to look to pump the brakes.
Yeah, they did have to invest a lot, though, right, to get that information that there was more than one and potentially that operator, considering how quickly those Prowlers are getting taken out. So now they just have to take some contact on either side of the map to open up some space.
Oh, Medusa. Shoulder to shoulder alongside
Oh.
Saya. Saya, he notices just a little bit sooner. Rossi now spotting out the leg. There's the spray coming through. Puts May down low on HP. Paranoia does send Rossi running, but DFM now in a very precarious spot. 30 seconds remaining as they start rotating back across here towards the C site. Still some noise being made. Saya might have just been able to pick up on the outskirts of those footsteps.
Start to back out just to make sure he can buy time for his teammates to arrive.
Well, everything being
Jump
sent
angle.
now. Saya pulling the trigger, but he misses the first target. Anthem's able to go ahead and collect the kill.
10 seconds left.
4v4. They low on health. With Medusa gone, it means that the pit can't come into play here in this round. But with that plant, they also have a lockdown, and Neth, he's just going to go ahead and send it.
Yeah, not a great way for T1 to get rid of this. And then they have the operator as well to try to work with on this retake. DFM's not in a terrible position, but they do passively have to wait. They don't want to push out because they know that Op's waiting for them somewhere.
Honestly, not even that much space bought by that lockdown as Cess does get grabbed. Still able to find one kill, though. Izu going to be taken down. May at the same time was able to find Excurrent. Carpe fights back. On, thrown. Trying to wait that one out. Trying to stay alive, but in the end, Neth takes them damn low, but can't quite find the finisher. Rossi will be able to get that defuse, and T1 will stretch their lead ever so slightly.
See if they can go all the way to pick up the operator. Looks like it. Keep the most expensive weapon in the pockets of T1. A great retake. I mean, the use of the C's and then the haunt as well. I love that they both peek the angle that they've marked with that haunt, because one of the opponents will have to clear the haunt for sure.
I just feel like it's a way too site-committed lockdown, in my opinion. I feel like there's so much space, so much of that radius that is not being utilized on the actual site. The players, from T1 able to get a very solid approach coming from that CT angle as well as Waterfall.
I mean, there's a world where, maybe you plant the lockdown, and I was wondering if they do it, is tag the door at least to put some pressure, right? That there might be a flank coming in, something like that to delay the retake or maybe have them rush a little bit more. But at the end of the day, totally understand why, things panned out. DFM, they didn't have any further info, so they didn't want to risk crossing over anywhere else. Just wanted to buy time. Hopefully having faith that the operator would be a bit of a nuisance for T1 to work with, but that was not the case. I mean, mostly it's Carpe's utility that opens things up on the retake, makes short work of him at the end.
4-2. DFM. See how they look coming out of this timeout.
It's going to be important to see what adjustments they make for Rubble, because here's the thing, if you're bringing out the Fade instead of the Sky, you have a lot of utility yourself to combat this. Now, something we saw in the earlier match that Talon was doing against Shinji, of course that was on the defensive side, but either way is slowing that down, right? Making sure the opponent's util comes out first and then retaking control. So I'd love to see some adjustments one way or another from DFM.
Well, full Sheriff half armor coming out as May. Jumping up and over. Cross here to Rubble. Pinch shells now lobbed in on the back end. Haunt getting multiple marks, but May taking a ton of damage at the same time.
Yeah, happy to be alive. Of course it is sad eco. So DFM, the thing is it's moments like this that's important, right? It's your eco, but you were able to tell them that you're willing to take this control. Next time, next round, maybe you slow things down again, see if you can get a reaction out of the opponents, things like that. Now just rotating over, see if they can get some control of Mound and the orb.
Bring them down.
Way forward, Prowler not going to spot much. Izu see more than enough before that smoke does come in, but with the Prowler getting the jump, he's got to make his exit. So TP's out. There's going to be a little bit of space temporarily conceded over here to the side of DFM, but now they need to try to work their way onto the side proper. Saya going to be able to find two, but Medusa and Anthem, one apiece. Pop shot from Execrate going to be good. Just Medusa stopping again. Any potential pit coming through, and with the Classic, he hounds down the other. Anthem dead. A little bit of damage dealt. I mean, he's an inside player, not like they have too much cash to their names either. Still going to be T1 moving up yet again now, 5-2.
See what T1's reaction is after that previous round. Now that they've seen that DFM starting to put the pressure a little bit back on Rubble, trying to fight for it a little bit more aggressively. Here's to see T1's read on the mind games. Overall, I mean, DFM, they try for a couple of nice double swings, things like that, but the weaponry, of course, not in their favor. You know, it looks like it's going to be... They want to draw out the utility first from T1, meanwhile get some space on B.
Hit off the rip here from Rossi.
But the op as well. I mean, this is hard to read. Now, it does mean that you have to commit two people on... Oh!
And that's a hell of a flick to try to hit. Can't make it happen. Medusa with the headshot does take down Execrate. Up now on the ground. Prowler to lead. May. Oh! Bit of a fadeaway. Takes down Saya player. That is about as good of a start to a round as you could possibly hope for. Looks like, though, DFM still maybe wanting to play into this pit.
I mean, if you can fly over, you've still got the Boombot and a Prowler and some Nanoswarms.
And now Nightfall.
Yep. Playing it safe, I like it.
Back up and avoid it, but not. Yep, Rossi does end up getting caught by this. Tap onto the doors. Carpe Izu finding one apiece. How Izu getting itself in second. Carpe as well. Takes out Seth, takes out Neth. Oh, and the start was fantastic, but the ending absolutely tragic. Carpe and Izu just absolutely dominate DFM.
And what happens here is DFM making the assumption that, well, the pit's still up on C. Surely that's the weak site. So if we can get the Nightfall, as long as we can get through the pit, we should be fine. But it takes them just a little too long. The Lurk's not active anymore on the other side. T1 have the read. They hear the orb, and that's just the moment they need to set up for this door trap. And Carpe, excellent triple kill to secure the round.
And I mean, Ult economy is just so built up here in their favor. Execrate still able to afford these operators, still has that tour de force in his back pocket. Showstopper from Saya as well. Boombot does go off, he does eat some damage, a little bit delayed reaction there.
That was immediate fill in from the A side. So T1 making the adjustments as they need. They're just trusting the trademark on the C site. They've got a showstopper if they want to go for a retake there. Now, Rubble, they've never been able to really regain control of this part once they give it up.
They're being sent. Rossi puts out that snake bite, but May just flash backing forward, able to find one. Now they know that Rossi's there inside of the smoke. He's going to be taken down. Side player around the corner, sends a showstopper. Not going to be able to find any eliminations. That's gone. Medusa cleaned up. Carpe again.
Spike down A.
Looking to keep them in this. Spike dropped. Swings around the backside of Rubble. Says up on top of the wall. Does manage to find the adjustment. He's had Execrate's number. Can he get it here? Yes, he can!
Incredible from Cess!
Bounding across a triple kill to bail them out of the round. What a clutch. Now DFM, they break the 4-round win streak. They move up to 3.
Coming into 2024, the introduction video that DFM had, they introduced Cess as their teammate who has some of the more craftier plays on their team. Well, what a setup to try to take out Execrate. Knows he's going to be scoped in somewhere on the side of the smoke, bounces across it.
Just catches it mid-movement, trying to take that more forward position at the base of the stairs. And now that's going to be the tour de force drawn out here of Execrate. Outlaw in the hands of side player as well, so plenty of firepower available to T1. I mean, we saw what Easy was able to do with that Sheriff, for crying out loud.
Yeah, DFM has to suspect the double op. It's not the first time that T1's shown it. Multiple occasions, especially with the tour de force.
There you go. 2-tap.
Spike down
Anthem
A.
taken down. Fade now out of the equation. Sneth's just going to be grabbing this orb, trying to get closer to that lockdown. Showstopper still available here. I'm curious to try to use it off the back of the door open, but looks like the answer is going to be no. Seven Rossi just sending that snake bite out, laying any push from coming through.
Look at all the space that T1 has now on the C side, though. Xcure single-handedly pushing out of that. They know that this team has to be stuck here. The trademark hadn't activated before.
Paranoia in, May goes through, finds him. Fight will take out Sets, but Showstopper finds Carpe. Double kill actually for Rossi with those snake bites, but Excret not ready for Medusa to be hanging that far back. Aloft from Saya player.
Oh!
Looks down. He's able to hit with a no-scope now. Upgrades to the Vandal.
30 seconds left.
Just he versus Medusa, but Medusa, he has... He's got the spike. He's got the spike in his hands. He can rotate to wherever he wants. Granted, only 20 seconds remaining. He's going to cut all the way across the opposite side of the map.
Now, the pit, I mean, it's a 1v1, so it could go either way, but on C site, you don't have as many angles you have to worry about. We're going to go for the mount plant.
Boombot, paint shells, even blast backs. I mean, full util here for Saya. Medusa not going to be using the pit, though. Just looking to try to play this out. It's out towards Mountain, around towards that attacker's spawn.
Now, he's waiting far back, right? Not sure where Saya's going to come from, but also wants to make sure that Saya has to clear every single corner.
I mean, Saya has no idea where the hell he is.
Now, with the spike, he's going to have to clear out of Mound a little bit.
As he pushes over the top of Mound. Oh,
Medusa.
a little bit of ring around the Rosie, and Saya eventually does find him.
Impressive wiring.
Quick blast pack to get himself onto the defuse a little bit faster. 7-3, Saya player with plenty of time gets the defuse.
This is going to be one of those rounds where, listen, I get it. In a 1v1, sometimes the pit, especially when you don't know where they're coming from, sure, it could be a bit of a pain. But it's going to haunt him a little bit if they're not able to come out on top on this map. Especially as it was Nico here for T1, just that outlaw, of course, the tour de force.
Hello!
Hi.
Hi. Well, 7-3, DFM. Potential for a 7-5, but would require a thrifty Bucky and a Judge in the mix here for them. As X-Grid and taking a forward position. Paranoia not getting the catch. Upshot will. Anthem dead. Spike now spotted. Time Rossi just spamming through that door. And okay, Neth, 2 quick kills there with the Sheriff. Just charges through that spray, hits himself a third. I mean, what damage dealt. Unreal sheriffing from him. Not the round victory, but certainly showing off a bit. 8 rounds, though, confirmed here for T1. So 8-4, the best that DFM can hope for on Lotus so far.
Yeah, and they've got the tools to do it. You've got a lockdown to push into the site. You've got a pit to protect it. So there's definitely some options now. Rushing to the C site might be a little obvious, though, so we'll see. Great hold from Izu. Eventually they'll come through. Of course, the Odin from the other side of the revolving door also assisting a lot from Rossi. So it's going to be some initial pressure onto Rubble to see what the reaction is from T1.
The paint shells, but no forward presence realistically here from DFM. More than happy to just let all that util get sent their way, but now that they push up, they don't actually clear this trademark. Medusa going to get in a position to be able to utilize the pit you would suspect, but he's actually still going on a bit of an excursion here. Paint shells at the feet of X-Grid will take a decent bit of damage, but outside player finding 2. X-Grid getting another, and this is all just falling apart. And I have to question what the setup was, what the plan was here, because Medusa, he pushes up into heaven, he comes back to kill 2 people, but that's about it. 9-3 on the half. T1 now very firmly in control.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Again, you had some tools to do it, but DFM seemingly thinking that, you know, they didn't have much time. They had an opening. They wanted to rush in. They thought that T1 would be far back. I mean, they saw a Prowler chase all the way into deep into the site on C as well, so perhaps just making the wrong assumptions, but either way, it's going to be an unfortunate 3-9 half for DFM and a hefty lead for T1.
Oh, with that pistol round barely getting away from them. DFM going on a 2-0. We cannot afford to have that happen once more. T1 well poised, looking a lot more alive and well here on Lotus, as expected.
Yes, a very, very comfy pick for T1. And also, quite frankly, when you're playing that chamber and you've got an opera like Xcure, that defense side doesn't feel so bad, right? You can trust him alone, and then you get the Odin and Rossi's hand. That's 2 parts of the map that you can really rely on to be locked down. Now the question is DFM, are you prepared for the attack? Because if you can make sure Xcure doesn't find a lot of value on the lurks with the opt, that will make things a lot easier on getting the read on T1's movement.
Let's see if they're going to be up to it. As for now, looks like Saya, surprisingly, not going with the Sheriff. Ghost in a blast pack. Oh, nope, there it is. Okay.
Ah, there it is.
That's what I thought. Oh, no.
Well, they're debating.
You got 20 seconds to decide. Rossi, though, is going to be going for this.
All right. I mean, it is the pistol. Not going to be relying too much on the post plant for delay, it seems, or anything like that. They just want to make sure that they have the firepower to push through.
Still doing some assessment here. A couple seconds remaining, though.
Now, Saya's all alone on the C side, potentially trying to get an orb if there's no movement.
It's just Medusa over there, Jiggle peeking, and okay. In the meantime, Exura dealt with it. May finds 3 kills.
Holy!
Just keep on swinging. May will keep shutting it down.
Both spotted as well.
Yeah, peeking. Knows that they are both on this side of the map. Paint shells sent. May still holding on to his. Plays it back sight. Turret set up there and connector to B.
Now, just something
Door still needs to be broken too.
Yeah, something I'm noticing is you spotted both, but because they were near the entrance, Medusa actually doesn't push out, so they don't technically have information on if they could have rotated over to B. Normally, Medusa, I would say, is a player who willingly would make sure that he tightens the map, but perhaps just wanting to make sure, because there have been times where that has been the bane of DFM's own rounds.
Find you.
Right, the door broken now. There's the haunt. So, decent awareness as far as their positions are concerned. Saya getting ready to swing in. There's the jiggle.
30 seconds
Spot
left.
him out. Double approach now through stairs. Anthem on the opposite side. Just a classic in hand. Decides to send the Prowler. Confirms his suspicions. May taking a close angle. I think he might have had Saya.
Yep.
Cess wasn't a little bit faster, but he gets the 4K in the end. Halfway to that showstopper already in the pistol round.
Incredible round from May. I mean, just holding his ground on stairs here. Just slight adjustments on movement. Look at all the counter strafing that he's doing to make sure.
Oh, last bullet too.
One enemy remaining.
Nonetheless, too, potentially the ace, but either way, they'll be happy to take the flawless.
Stay awake.
A great way to start the second half.
And he just quietly fist bumps and says, nice. Pop off, kid. Go crazy. Playing out of your mind today.
I'm sure we might see a little bit of that perhaps if the match win comes through.
Oh, for sure. Well, Exura does put him down. Anthem as well. Going to be able to find one. Exura back of Rubble. Coming up with one, but it's just ran down by Carpe. Not aware of that at all. Gun's now scooped up. It's just Medusa and Neth to try to turn the tides, and Izu snipes him out of midair. Now just the Spectre versus 4. This one's certainly going to hurt. Yep, Thrifty coming through as T1.
No charges.
Just immediately sucking all the air out of the room.
And T1, I mean, Carpe, very heads up to just rush him down as soon as that Prowler tags. Knows that he's not going to be able to hear him. Knows that he doesn't have the sight down the lane behind Rubble. And a great first kill. I mean, that slows him down a lot, right? This constant screen plus the chamber kill.
One enemy remaining.
At that point, tempo on their side.
All the way to stop any kind of momentum build here. Double digits for the side of T1. DFM with everything to do. Try to get themselves back into this one. Early damage out on the Anthem.
There.
Just holding inside the site, not even on tree. We'll definitely have to get these first kills and try to play a little bit craftily around the hut in the middle.
Paint shells are trying to turn, trying to lay. It does not work out too much. T1 just continue to push onward. The bot sent, immediately sent, to be found. As Anthem gets cleaned up. They trying to play ring around the rosy a little bit here with that classic in hand. So far is tucked away, finds one, but isn't quite ready for side player. And Neth, his damage was dealt with him, by him rather, with that Sheriff earlier on. Let's see if he's got more of that to deliver.
It's 2 Sheriffs on DFM. Not entirely impossible, but the angles aren't going to be in their favor.
And Medusa would have to swing the corner and instantly get the headshot here, but instead he's going to be taking some damage. Sufficient for this one. Extra eventually rewarded with the kill. Saya will find a third. T1 now up to 11.
T1 looking, hoping to close this out in clean fashion so they can regain some of that confidence that they should have had for this entire match. Looking towards Sunset, which would be map 3. Now DFM, they will be able to pick up some of the buys, but of course the Odin coming out on the side of T1. It's going to be a very, very powerful round for T1 to just try to snowball their way to victory.
Well, especially last time with rifles in hand, because economy's not going to be doing great here for DFM. They lose this round. It's going to be showstopper now. Built up here for a Saya player. Does he just send it? Yes, he does. There's going to be blast packs to use off the back end of this one. Does get sent up there by the Prowler. No sight. Widely is just going to be space creating ultimate. Checks the close corner here, backside.
They're able to take all of that. Do they push heaven? Yes, they do with an early smoke, so that makes it safe. Safe by trying to clear him. Now, yeah, this is the big thing. It's the long sight lines.
Oh, around the poison orb. Medusa swings out. Execute up on top of Rebel. He will find that one. Now they get ushered out in towards Rossi, who finds one, but is traded back. An advantage there, but now equalized. And comes up with the second kill. Execute. Drop it. Cess and Anthem both dead, and that leaves Neth all on his lonesome. Runs over, grabs the operator. Widely is just going to have to backpedal and try to hold on to this one.
Yeah.
That's going to be T1 getting themselves up to map point.
Yeah, I mean, giving map point obviously never feels good, but otherwise it's not like you're going to have buys coming or great buys coming into the next round. Might as well take that operator. T1 definitely doesn't want that.
Okay. Final kill in the round to be able to get rid of Izu. But it's just so much money. I mean, he used it 6,300 before he even gets paid out. So there you go. Cash capped as T1. Incredibly rich. And as we can see, that clock is going to get paused as final timeout should be getting called right now.
See if there's any adjustments. It's going to be a long road ahead if you want to try to close things out 2-0. So DFM, what do they discuss here? Because it's not too many rounds that you can sample, right? Just the 4, of course. You lose the anti-eco. A little bit of aggression through the toxic screen doesn't pay off, so not too much to gather from that round. Just to see what the adjustments are, and maybe just having to, use this opportunity to talk about the mixed arsenal they will have going into round 17.
Let's take another look at it and see what the ult economy looks like right now for DFM, because it's been very slow building in the second half. Just the one round victory there in the pistol.
Yeah,
that Thrifty really is what has just been killing them here on this map.
Yeah, that hasn't looked good. Rough for them in this second half, but
yeah, showstopper.
Yeah,
that's it.
Built that up early. Never been a better time to use it than now. But of course, being on that defense, it's going to be hard to really decide when is the best timing throughout this. So off the timeout, T1 going to wait to see if there's some sort of util dump onto Rubble. Not going to be entirely it, though. The adjustment to take it slow. Let the Odin spam. Let's see util come out.
Paranoid. Showstopper sent, but that's the TP out. Neth, however, is able to find Carpe forward, and that means that Spike now a little bit stranded. Extra, however, pushing out, finds the killjoy. Sess takes out Saya player. Very much a man advantage here in the hands of T1. Rossi in the corner, completely surrounded. And with the Odin, not going to be able to get yourself out of that sticky situation. He gets taken down. Spam, weakening Execute. Now they confirm his presence. Last thing to do is just take this weapon out of his hands, but who wants to chase for it? You have no money.
Yeah, DFM has to hold. I mean, they got an operator for it as well, right? So DFM, they want to hold on to all these weapons because they're going to need every single piece. They want to tie this up into overtime, already giving that 12 to T1 in the previous round. Now, I like the adjustment, right? Timeout, then you go for that slow contact once again on Rubble.
Left.
Again, something akin to Talon's play against Gen G. Works out really well against the teams that have just kind of habitual set plays to take over Rubble. Maybe
just having a little bit of fun.
Yeah, deciding just to back out. If you catch him off guard, sure, but
10 seconds left.
Not going to work it.
Second lease on life for DFM. They hold on, so 12-5 now the score line. 7 in a row if they want to take this all the way to overtime and have a chance at getting a win here.
Odin, Operator, both in the hands of DFM for this coming round to match. Now, the Nightfall will be online for T1. Surely, T1 looking to send that as soon as they have the opportunity.
That's a good spot.
I'd be curious if the opportunity is right now off the rib. But given that Saya players on the opposite side, it seems like it's not going to be a huge tempo play out into A.
Yeah, it looks like they've often been doing this T1 in this game against DFM, right? Where they actually have Saya player alone on the C side to just try to clear. That way they save the paint shells. It's just the Odin that really helps clear A rubble. This sets them up for the potential Nightfall.
There's a waiting to see if you can hear a tap on the door. Oh.
It's going to be a pinch with the double
No
blast back.
idea. Nightfall at the ready. There it goes. Open syncs up. They're trying to flush him out. Saya
Saya's
player
here.
already in from behind. And Izu able to go ahead and continue the crunch right there in front. Medusa now gone. Push up the rope. Saya player down to 21 HP, but eventually finds the headshot. Anthem dropped. It's all on May and Cess to see if they could try to somehow convert this 2v5.
I mean, these two players have had some incredible moments, but looks like it's going to be a tough one. May basically has to do this all on his own, as Cess will be supporting with an operator from behind.
Blast packs to try to get himself with his angles a little bit sharper, as that's another paint shell online. But Frosty tries to swing back in. Does end up getting taken down. There's too many players to deal with there on that site. T1 keep themselves in this series, taking it 13 rounds in the end. Lotus continues to be an absolutely excellent map for them, just the one loss so far. But the other constant is May in the top of the standings.
Yeah, continuing to put up incredible numbers, so we'll see if that can happen once again at map 3.
All right, well, before we go to map 3, we'll once again pass it back over to the analyst as to break down Lotus.
Well, T1 continues to prove why Lotus is probably their favorite map. With that said, despite the scoreline, there are a couple of really close calls, you know, especially from DFM side, almost getting many of those rounds.
Yeah, I feel like a few of those rounds just came down to maybe little mistakes or just make a little bit of a different decision here or there. The round where they're able to get the lockdown on the post plant, for example, maybe if that lockdown comes sooner, they set up for the positioning for the post plant themselves by mound and stuff like that. Like little things that I felt like could have been adapted better earlier on might have kept DFM closer in this. But I think as time went on, they just kind of like weren't there mechanically. T1 started to heat up. They started to really get into it. And they just kind of like lost their footing. It felt like they lost their groove.
I think that's definitely one of those things. I mean, because conversely, while it is a little bit of like decision making on the side of DFM, you had these rounds where, like, for example, one alt point away from getting the lockdown, he could have picked it up, but then kind of didn't really go for it. They didn't have that in their strategies. Or Anthem versus Izu in that 1v1, for example, right? You know, sometimes just thinking that this is the right move to make, and you just go in for it, but then T1 starts to switch up, and then players like Izu start to pop off. You just kind of get thrown off a little bit, and then you just kind of get back into your head, and players kind of start to get that coordination a little bit off as well. So DFM, although they looked really good at the first map, back onto this one, you know, some players still pretty consistent, still incredibly sharp mechanically, but T1 started to become a more cohesive team.
I think it's worth noting Carpe really stepped up, and Quack, you had mentioned this before we went to this match. You wanted to see exactly that, and honestly, a lot of the rounds, I would say, was saved by him. He stepped up to the plate, took out multi-kills, turning that round completely in their favor when it was otherwise doomed.
It's a lot of plays like that, especially with the Fade. I mean, the information that he gets and just making use of the Nightfall, for example. I mean, there are rounds where, you know, he's just reading the map and setting the whole team up into positions where, for example, outside of C-Mount, they open the door at the right time. DFM definitely tries. They had some great ideas, especially in the first half, but yeah, just not quite able to get more rounds as the game went on.
Yeah, and I think in particular for Carpe, like he had some really impactful prowlers as well that nearsighted his opponents, that made it a lot easier for them to kind of come in and get the job done. So it was the gun skill as well as the agent skill for Carpe in this map for sure. You know, there were some pop-off moments. You know, Meduso had a great one there with that 4K. May is May. We know he's good. You know, those couple one-taps there at the end of the last round, even though he's in a really bad situation, still able to put up some good numbers. But I think in general, you know, once T1 kind of got their heads straight, once they started to figure things out, these crunches like this that just aren't accounted for by DFM mentally. There were some rounds, like there was when May had the showstopper and he off the rip kind of blast packs up in the air by A, and Izu's out there over by Rubble, and he knows it's coming and he can just TP out of the way. So there's some little things, and then the door switch with the Odin hold in that last round that didn't work because they knew to switch sides. Like there were these little things that T1 were doing that were just enough to throw DFM off that it caught them off guard. It wasted some impactful, you know, utility or guns or ultimates in the case of that showstopper. Things like that really made the difference here.
It did look promising for DFM in the early stages of this in the first half, because it looked like it was taking T1 a little while to rev up their engines again after losing that first game. And you could see mistakes come through Saya player. So while he did make some great decisions in the second half, the first half you see him just getting caught off guard with his showstopper in his hand and just going completely to waste. So, but I'm glad to see this, because now we got a proper series. Now, Sunset, while T1 has played Sunset before and has looked good on Sunset, I don't know. I don't know which way this is going to go. Again, it's sort of like the GE game that we saw on day one.
It really feels like it. I mean, it's just everything is kind of wild right now. That's what it feels like. I am a little bit worried about DFM again, though, because T1 intentionally picked Lotus, right? And Lotus has been their map for a while. DFM must have prepared for it, and if they go into, you know, T1's map pick without like showing that their preparation isn't quite there yet, how will Sunset look? And now T1's engines are revved up. You know, it's going to be a little bit difficult. I do want to see an interesting composition, of course, but it's also been a while since we've seen T1 Sunset, and that's where I think, you know, we might feel like the Gecko being pulled out. Carpe on the Gecko was great against Paper X.
But before any of that, we need to figure out our ranks.
No.
So production said we need to do a rank. So.
Okay, production.
You know what? I'm catching up to Achilles, so I'm actually okay with this.
Yeah.
This is good.
We're ranking up, and Quack is ranking down.
Normally, I don't really care much about rank.
Yeah, you did say that.
But
you get to beat Achilles.
Yes, that's actually now kind of become a new goal of mine.
To be honest, you never care about rank till you start hitting a rank that's like reasonable. Then you're like, then you start to care how precious all this. First, let me bring you up to gold. I'm gonna go back to diamond. Shine bright like a diamond. Wow. And you are down to gold. All right, good guess though. Hard to say. I would say it's not meant to be easy. Ranking's never easy.
True.
You never know. You might have bad teammates.
With the right teammates,
Yeah.
If we worked collectively, maybe we could have ranked
Oh my
up
gosh,
together.
should we sync up our answers?
Next
No. Let's not do that now.
Nah.
Now that I'm doing,
See?
now that I'm starting to rank up, I'm like,
You guys don't wanna-
This
Oh,
guy
wow.
is not a team player. He does his own thing.
I'm a Sentinel player. That's true.
Yeah.
I do just like run around
I'm
the
just
map and do
anchoring my
my
own site. You go do your
you guys
other thing.
go,
Go
yeah.
duelist
You guys
things.
hold your
Get
own
out of here.
site. Oh, I got a 1v4 retake now? Fine.
Fine. It doesn't actually.
Just look like you're basically like Foxy 9. Just look like a sensible
I
hero.
wish.
I'm a team player. I don't know about you guys.
Well, goal your gold together with Kilios and Paper Thin.
Thanks.
See, yeah.
You're like a third
Nailed it.
wheel in that party.
I need like a duelist to, you know, lead me and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys got actually the full stack. You got a controller Quack. We got duelist Achilleos and the Sentinel
True.
Paper Thin.
We're getting pretty close. Yeah, we're getting pretty close to. We just need an initiator. You want to rank
I
down
am
to
an
gold with us?
initiator, actually.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, gold. I don't mind playing gold. It's a little fun. But like, unlike us, these two that we're looking at right now, I like how he has been looking the past two matches. He's just been absolutely making impactful kills both of the games. Esu, sorry. S.
Yeah. No.
Sorry,
He,
I don't have the
I know
Japanese accent.
his name is so deceiving, and I made the mistake of
Well,
calling.
it sounds
him
like Izu. Yeah.
no,
that's
exactly.
Why
That's why I couldn't tell. I was like, did you say Izu? I was like, they're both playing good. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. No, I mean, like, Sesu is. He has some really good moments. He has kind of those tricky plays, you know, Will was talking about on the cast, where he's kind of able to outsmart you and get kills that way. But the overall coordination and firepower needed more work on that map. A little surprising with DFM. This Lotus is a map that they've wanted to play. I think it went like 13-8 against DRX or something like that when they played them in kickoff. So it is a bit shocking to see them not, especially after a win like that. But the spirits were still high. They're still laughing. They're still having a good time. And they get definitely good. But Izu, I'm becoming more and more of a fan of as time goes on.
As time goes on, I do feel, I mean, starting things off when he played that Yoru, for example, he was already really interesting and really fun to watch. He just shows that he's got quite a lot to prove, too. I mean, a lot of potential as to how he positions himself sometimes, hiding inside of dark covers, or the way he won out that clutch against Anthem, for example. I mean, he can be very snappy at times, very unorthodox. It's a little bit tough to predict how he's going to position himself.
Yeah.
So both players, you know, they've got their roles to play, but I do feel that for, you know, T1 chemistry as a whole, there is a bit more pressure on Izu's shoulders as that rookie.
Yeah, I mean, you want the rookie to step up. The rookies have been stepping up in all the other teams, but you know what? I mean, that's why they're called a rookie. They need some time. I think, oh, okay. Well, first of all, we got a Neon on Sunsets.
Whoa!
Okay,
Now, wait a minute.
Wait. No Gecko. We got a Sova.
I mean, okay, so I've seen a little bit of Neon on Sunset here and there, and it can kind of work. Like some of the fast lanes you can use to take some of those like tight angles and stuff like that, and use the relay bolts to also clear some of that space. So it can kind of work, but it is shocking to see Saya player go for it. I can't tell you off the top of my head if this is the first Neon game that he's played, but it definitely feels like it. He's probably played it in NA and I just don't remember, but here in Pacific, I don't think he's played Neon that I'm aware of.
This is going to be very interesting, but I like it. Like, well, we haven't seen DFM on this map at all, but I like that T1 has reworked something here, and they definitely will need to moving into this stage one, especially if they reface some of these other teams who are very, very good at Sunset.
Definitely a comp that's a lot more aggressive for the least, but, you know, the other composition looks safer.
All right, let's go over to Casters to the last map of the series.
Thank you guys very much. Yes, last map of the series, of the day, of the week. Here we are on Sunset. As mentioned, I mean, this is going to be a real first look at DFM on Sunset. Played it at the Riot 1 Invitational during the offseason, but that was with a very different roster. That's when you had Suggest and JoJo still on the squad.
Yeah, and Popagachi part of the starting five there as well. So very big changes. Meanwhile, T1 taking the Team Heretics comp. We'll see if they can master it just as well. Now, Saya, if I'm not mistaken, I think the last time he did play the Neon was actually with T1, but not in Pacific. It was at the Ludwig Tarek Invitational on Fracture.
Fracture would make sense, but there's a first blood. Is Exterior going to be taken down? Anthem able to find that opening kill. And Shell's lobbed in, swing back sight here from Saya player. Maybe we'll find too much. It's May and Cess, however, are going to be coming up with some solid goods. Rossi, however, cutting down to the Classic. Breaks things open. That leaves now Medusa all on his lonesome. Saya down low. 21 HP remaining here on this Neon as he plays up front. He'll get taken down. Now there's an armor advantage here, as that is the last bit of util sent by Rossi. Does have a 0 point back off cooldown. Medusa already knows roughly where Medusa's going to be.
Yeah, didn't catch a glimpse of him though, but Medusa waits on purpose to see if
read this though, Medusa. If he sends a bite over here, no.
Wait for it.
Swing out. Now knows. Don't think dumps quite just yet though. Pulls at the half. Swing up to the corner. The frenzy picked up by Rossi. Will be good enough for it. T1. I think their third pistol round here in this series. Start off Sunset with a bang.
Yeah, they've been splitting pistols back and forth, but in the first two maps, whoever won it in the first half was able to carry it all the way through to the end. See if that trend continues here. Just a great 2v4 by Rossi and Saya. the hops coming in from Saya as well as he reloads, keeps him alive.
Solid start here, 14-1. And Rossi with those 3 kills. Feeling it, it's in the groove. Just for that Phantom. Side player sliding around the corner. Able to find one. May does shut him down. Sheriff coming across. A little bit of damage there.
Now T1, I mean, they have time. They don't need to force.
Everybody locked in behind the box here on site. Spray down coming through. Rossi for the third, but easily able to take it away. And that will give them a second kill here in the second round. With 3 members strong, the Phantom carried forward. T1 very rapidly move up 2-0.
Yeah, all the important weapons carried along, and having faith in that as well, I think, especially when it's the likes of, you know, Spectres and Phantoms, you can go for those sprays even in close quarters. So it works out. I don't mind DFM going for the A stack. Usually that's the site you empty, so just goes for it for a chance to play around things like elbow, like the generator. And they find 2 kills.
Rossi out for blood. Nearly has that ult online already. All command. Really try to slow them up. Just 1 more charge left to go. Side player going on the rush, slides around the corner, catches a glimpse there up Neth, but it's a shot into May's shoulder. Armor gone, down to 85. There is the raise. HL still at the ready though. Yes, there's the fast lane, a relay bolt in the backside.
Yeah, the paranoia to make sure that there's no coverage coming in from market either. No command.
Now in play, but Zion not checking right. Unable course correct back to the left. End up falling 1 for 1 so far as Isu spotting Cess, but Cess able to win out the fight. Sees Rossi's head, Medusa in the meantime able to find Execurate. So just keep them in this one, but now man advantage is there. No, May pulls off the angle, but Carpe hadn't seen him, so he's still able to collect the kill. Rossi now in a 1v3. More damage through. 10 bullets here. Swings out. It's going to be a team ace, though, as DFM will be able to win out in round number 3.
Yeah, stabilized with 3 rifles kept. Not a bad round from DFM. And we're, you know, you see the strengths of Neon on a map like Sunset. Obviously, the relay boats, there's tons of angles you can utilize, but also getting ahead of some of the initial util. Now, this will be very beneficial, especially when they want to hit A side as well, kind of get past that one way or things like that that DFM might have to hold on to A main. We'll see how T1 continues to juggle things. For now, it looks like all eyes still set on the B site.
Vandal there for the hero. Guardian in the hands of Excurate. He's waiting for his timing, sends out that 0 point.
He's nothing in market. That means that they can safely push up using that smoke in mid.
He's starting to rotate around, but no, does cut back over. That shot, he's going to start inching his way in that direction here. His fast lane now comes up on the side. Smoke to try to cut off Boba.
Ooh.
Recon as well, lobbed in. So eventually getting himself up over the top of there.
DFM's going to have to give this site up because they don't want to get swarmed, but that does mean that they'll have to deal with this post plant. And T1's actually going to push out because they don't have long-range weaponry.
Pop Flash not finding him, but still Saya able to cut him down. Vandal now recovered for him. See short range. Good enough for that kill.
This is choke point.
Yep, Wingman leading the charge. There's a jump in though. May trying to rally the rest of the team around him to work a treat. They find 2 kills. Execurate holds the reveal coming through off the neural theft. Double wrap around from backside. Guardian shots on the fly, but Execurate going to be taken down, and Neth just moves up into the smoke to take out Izu. The fuse can come in. DFM will tie us up at 2-2.
Something I've noticed throughout this entire best of 3 from DFM is not only we talked about how they're kind of covering for each other's angles and their backs, but also the pacing of their trades, right? They used to have some members kind of overheat, or not really overheating, but just not on the same page in terms of tempo. But this time, knowing when they want to buy time, knowing when they want to jiggle peek, knowing when they want to double swing, the comms just seem to have been cleaned up entirely. Because even here, as soon as they realize it's a push out instead of a hold, they decide to wait until backup arrives.
Well, Saya, Stinger in hand, but does have the ult, so it looks like we're going to be seeing that coming through. Pop that overdrive, but Thrash on the opposite side available from Anthem. There you go, Lightning Fingers now in play.
Out of charges.
Really shallow.
Fast.
Yeah, really shallow fast lane there as Paranoia slowing him up. Relay bolts now expanded, but Anthem caught. Looking for more. Saya able to get himself a second. Looking for the pop flash. Reveals out. That's in such a bad spot. Medusa in the meantime able to find Carpe. Finds Saya to shut him down, but can't do more than that. Neth now the last one standing. 1v3. I believe footsteps likely heard. his way forward here. Izu up on top of the box, out spotted. Does do well to come away with the kill, weakening the economy even further here of T1, but they will go ahead and reestablish a lead.
Massive value off of that overdrive, and a great setup for it too. You recognize that the trip was there in the previous round as well. You're able to shoot it down. Eventually, you take the shock dart, just plant him in. It's really just to buy time and create space. The triple kill, just a cherry on top for Saya player.
Nice! Good job, guys.
Do they maintain the lead is the question. Kick back economically. Pretty severe here for DFM. 2 Vandals still in play. A multitude of ultimates as well.
Oh, and this setup from T1, it was ready for the Tiles Crunch with the showstopper, right? The 0 point to try to shut it down. DFM not gonna send it just yet. They do have a lot of other ults as well, though, for things like the retake, the Thrash.
A lot to work with here. Neth just taking a quick glance with the camera and eyes there on mid.
Here.
Check the opposite corner. Stopped into a 50-50.
Need help.
Anthem's got to play this safe. Got so much util to work with.
Yeah, a good amount to try to buy some time, but he pulls off the angle. Now, he spots one.
He's going to try to hold.
He sends the Mosh to try to stave them off here for the time being. Fast lane there from Saya player. Does take a shot. Dizzy goes out. Anthem revealed. Not sure which way to look. Rossi able to hound him down. May at the same time going to be taken out as Scarpe finds that kill. Pushing in. Oh no!
Okay.
Does eventually get the headshot, but the initial whiff
Spike down.
costs him dearly. Stops him from being able to follow up onto somebody else. Pop flash out, gets a full flash there on a Medusa. Just at the lineup, has the kill, but now again, he's just going to be blinded as Rossi just runs him down. Another 3K for him on that KO. Plant in to go ahead and get that null command up once more.
I mean, if Cess was able to maybe push out Saya and then get past the relay, fill the site with him, take the drone out for him, I get why you wanted to hold the site. You were the one with the rifle. You had so much util, maybe you thought you could spray them down, but at the end of the day, it's good util use from T1 to clear all the corners. They're able to swarm the site, get another round win on the board.
Back in with a buy. With them not finding any opportunities to utilize these 4 ults that they have had online. Dizzy over the top. It's the double pump there on the blinds. Hunter's Fury now out from Carpe, just fishing for anything that he can possibly find. And narrow miss. Anthem almost getting clipped by that one, but nothing else, I suppose, that has contained DFM back off the site. Full 5 players at the ready, already in position to try to go for a flood retake. If they're going to be able to pull it off. They might try to check backside. Izu up on top of the box. Thrash not finding much. Showstopper goes out, but Izu already dropped. May does get taken down.
One enemy remaining.
As Rossi, he's detained right on top of the spike. So, a couple ults committed there. DFM will be able to find some stability without too many casualties either.
Yeah, a great rash from DFM as soon as they see the initial hit coming on to A main, right? The Dizzy text, you saw the paranoia as well, signifying the rush. They back out immediately. They weren't even trying to hold on. That helps them set up to kind of avoid the Hunter's Fury as well. Now you saw them use all their ultimates. You're able to answer back with your own retake, and it's quite clean. I mean, sure, there's trades back and forth, but they're ready for it, which is the important part. 4v3, yeah, keeping up.
A bit of a breathing, or a seething sigh of relief there.
That resets a lot of these ultimates. You've got the Viper's Pit, but I doubt it'll be used immediately unless you're going to set up for a full A main control. Okay. Just trying to shut that down entirely. It does go a little deep, so you're not going to have a very far range of angles to choose from. But either way, it's a tough one to clear, especially with the composition you have on T1.
Sights will be turned over here towards mid, but DFM is going just as many eyes on this. Another corner though, headshot in, side player able to find one, wants to try to press in for more, but actually just get baited forward, taken out. May finds the kill. Reveal now across from that neural theft. DFM keeping perfect tabs on these 2 remaining players from the side of T1.
Carpe's recognizing that Medusa could come out of the pit. It's good, but it doesn't exactly give them a lot more hope for the round just yet.
Spike picked up, but How do you try to get this onto the site? Obviously, B main left open here for the moment, but May starting to back away from Market. Has that trap wire still set up. They have the Cypher cam, so he's now going to look to take that position, but T1's starting to work away from him.
Yeah, May
30
just trying
seconds
to
left.
make sure that he can hold on to that area. They got A main, they got B main, they shut them down in mid. Everything is covered for DFM. Now they are spread far apart, so I like this from Medusa. Banking out of his own pit, as it's been enough time, making sure that you have an exit, and it's just going to be the save as we look at the spike held and spawn. But
10
what
seconds
a
left.
new look from DFM. Win or lose, the map or the match. Just the way they're set up, even this one, right? The pit used, and then you say, okay, we push them out of B main initially as well. We have mid covered. That's going to be the next rotation. You've got trades and all these angles, including Market, where May was with extra crossfire. It's just an entirely new team.
They have us tied up at 4-4. They have cycled out their ultimates. T1, maybe with slight edge in that regard. That Neural Theft online here for Excurate. The rest of them still needing some more time to get built up. You can do it. I believe there you go.
Yes, this should
It gets a little iffy sometimes with the cyber cams.
No, I mean, it definitely is true. Sometimes, I see
Yeah.
the pros place these cams, and I try to do it. Mike, how the hell did you get that to stick there? May goes diving forward.
Oh, all the way down, just straight mid. Meanwhile, you got the Omen to take over tiles. That's something that T1 might have to keep tabs on. Could show up in another round. But I
Really
like
spotted
this
there.
too. Yeah, what's good about this is you see some teams committing a little too hard to the push out in mid on Sunset, but there's just too many angles for you to cover afterwards. So just putting that pressure, denying that pacing, and then taking it back. You've still got a lot of delay on A. You still have the toxic screen on B. It's a very controlled look from DFM.
Right here.
Slow going for T1. See if DFM are going to make any missteps here. Smoke comes in, but they're already ahead of it, so a bit too late.
Shot down.
Well, starts to clear the trap wire. Relay bolt sent out as well. Forces May back off the angle here for the moment. They work their way forward into the site.
Camera taken
Back
out.
onto the camp. Dart out.
Out of charges.
Saya just on the opposite side of this smoke, which
Spike planted.
be dissipating somewhat soon, so Carpe moves over to try and reinforce it. Oh, the paranoia timing is absolutely perfect. Still get some damage across there onto the Sova, but now once it's being scooped up, Medusa trying to find one, does manage to find him, but Rossi trades it back, but he himself dropped. Anthem finds Saya player. Trade up here, monstrous from the side of DFM. He's now having to backpedal, just that Sheriff in hand, but he's making damn good use of it. 2 kills, Extra with the finisher. T1 back in the lead.
Izu's the absolute undisputed MVP of that round. The paranoia right as the smoke ends, as they're already prepared with a double, even a triple right near the end, jumping up on the stairs. That's perfect. And then the double kill to boot with the Sheriff. An excellent setup, because May's position outside of that smoke was actually really good. He doesn't hold too close, doesn't want to get surprised. But the paranoia, it's just as if it's a tied animation to the smoke.
One enemy
Absolutely
remaining.
fantastic shooting there from Izu.
Yo, who am I?
Tell him, who is he?
This man has lost his identity. He is the unnamed killer. He is Clint Eastwood in Fistful of Dollars.
Oh, great round from Izu. Love to see that confidence coming back up for him, because he looked absolutely dejected after a rough game against Paper Rex. And you can't blame him, right? Because it's not like they were getting crushed entirely. They made that game a very entertaining one, but Izu was very quiet compared to his kickoff performance. Today, though, having a fair share of his own moments.
Oh, sure. And I mean, let's be real. That was the majority, I think, of Izu's skills so far in the map.
Sure.
That certainly added to it, but still, when you can just randomly pull out those moments, you're gonna be feeling pretty darn good. Yeah, I mean, he moves up to 3.
This goes here.
A nice little 3x for the Sheriff.
Yeah. Take those.
Oh, this is a nice spot.
8 assists, though. Gotta give him that credit as well.
Shutting them down.
All right, 0 point out, does get the catch onto
Just-
Medusa.
Yeah, just onto the Viper. So the screen not coming up, but of course the Cypher Util, the real thing that they want to fish out with that KO.
Trap wire dealt
There.
with for now.
Yeah, the
Thing
cage
coming
alone
down.
puts some pressure to force him back and create these angles, yeah.
Taking a bit of damage there is Anthem. Slide forward. Saya, though, Ready for May this time around. Just managed to finish him off, backs away, avoiding that fragment as Anthem,
One enemy remaining.
Crossfire setup. Guns down 2. Izu here on the site, and it is a flawless round. What a timeout call here for DFM. Very much getting everything aligned. And with the help of the coaches, they keep things neck and neck. 5-5. These teams looking absolutely inseparable on Sunset.
And one of the changes we saw off of that timeout was the returns to putting that tripwire back up in mid. They took that off once it got taken down 2 times in a row, said we want to switch things up, play for more delay on the site. But that hasn't worked out so flawlessly. So they just go back and say, okay, let's go with the default. Let's hold mid, right? Don't have to worry about it. That way we can stack a little bit more weight on one side of the map. It's going to be that A side. Once again, the Dizzy prepared to stop the rush. They have a read on this pacing.
There's the overdrive and already finding one. Reveal out, relay bolts. Now looking for the stun. Able to find it. Takes a good amount of damage, but Execurate on the follow-up. He is able to trade one back there against Anthem. 2 members left standing. Just the one now is Neth. We'll be able to find 2. Nice little transfer at the end to do some additional damage, but the Neon ult gets popped, Saya player goes, and everybody dies.
I mean, a great attempt here from DFM. Obviously, a very hard read, given the ultimates that were online, or near online at the very least. The overdrive off the bat. But it's Neon. You're going to be able to slide in, create that movement. Doesn't matter if you've got Dizzy, because you're so fast. Makes you great use of that agent.
And solid setup on the recon as well.
Nice, guys.
Getting that spot out, because if he just continues +40 towards the site, could be a very different setup on the round there. T1 securing 6 rounds for themselves here in the half. Back away, avoiding the 0 point, avoiding the recon arrow here on B.
I'm out of here.
Starting to rotate around as noise being made. Fast lane put up, Cyber Cage not really dissuading much of anything here.
Go, go, go.
T1 just the site spreading out, but also moving over in towards market. But Medusa takes a couple shots, and they know that there's going to be at least one player situated there.
Yeah, but the real important part is this Execurate's lurk. They haven't really seen this happen at all.
Rush into market. That's the detain out.
Uh-oh.
The catch, and they finish him off. Showstopper sent. Oh, Execurate dead. Swing in. He catches him right before Saya player is going to be able to redraw his weapon. Paint shells shallow, right at Carpe's feet. Has to jump up over the top, and now Medusa comes in from behind. He's able to find 2. Izu taken out as well. Rossi on his lonesome with 41 HP. May takes over the round to tie things up right at the end of the half.
The heads-up play to spin 180 degrees in the air is flying out with the showstopper to check just in case there's a lurk in tiles. Just incredible, because that was an absolute trap set up by T1. I mean, you see Saya player getting caught by the Thrash, and Execurate's just licking his lips, waiting for everyone to run by, and he'll just catch him from behind, but that was not the case, and a great retake. That, of course, forced the rest of T1 to try to have to push out of the site rather than playing post-plant, as they've now lost all the support from other parts of the map. And a tied map. Who would have thought we'd be here?
Nobody. Pretty much. At least not at the start of the day.
Yeah, there's probably one person out there with their pick'ems on VLR.
we could say after the first map.
Sure.
That this was predictable to an extent, but certainly not before the day had begun. This is, I mean, an incredibly improved Detonation Focus Me that we have not seen before, but also a much more disjointed T1.
Yes.
Breaking down in ways that we haven't witnessed before either.
Well, it just seems like DFM, I would say...
DFM, they're causing that breakdown.
Yes, that's what I wanted to say. I actually think overall, even on Lotus, overall, DFM's reads are probably ahead of T1 throughout this entire best of 3. It's just the execution sometimes maybe a bit more sloppy.
Well, now we go into the second half, 6-6. T1 in the lead by 1 round in regards to pistol wins. DFM tie that up to take the lead for themselves once again.
Saya's got that frenzy in the half armor. Being fed forward. Looks like it might be a setup to just push out of A, take hard control. You've got the pop flash over the wall, the relay bolt. Needs to stop at the wall a little bit due to the Dizzy.
Slow it up, not able to take much more aggressive spacing than this, but still already good information gained for T1. Back away, just set up the one-way yet again as Carpe just Sending some shots at each other.
Yeah, and T1, I mean, they have all the information, right? They even tagged Neth over on B main. They know that the initial idea was a pinch onto B.
Oh, Execute now. Getting quite far forward.
I like this though, right? Make the noise and then send it back just to lurk in mid. Now you've controlled so much more space for T1. Help fill that B site and then just make sure. Uh-oh!
Oh, but as they swing back in, May wins out on the fight. May, he does get knocked down to 70, but kill found. Swing around here from Neth, looking to lurk his way into B. Spots Rossi. Oh, can't quite find the kill. Rossi trying to jump, trying to get in on top of him so he can utilize those right clicks, but just can't gap close fast enough.
30 seconds left.
Plant getting ready to come through. Anthony still just tucked around the corner. The real reveal coming in. He eats quite a bit of damage there, but he's still going to be alive. It's definitely side player, last one standing. Clears the dizzy, but only has so many bullets left in the frenzy, and eventually will be hounded down. A flawless pistol round as DFM. They make it 3-3 in pistols, now 7-6 on the map.
What's going to be really surprising and something that's going to plague T1, I feel, in the coming weeks is DFM has shown time and time again, both on Ascent and even here on Sunset, with the tendencies of T1, that they will want to take over that area once again. They will want to leave the aggressive lurks. They have so much faith in their own aim, and they're just always waiting one extra step. T1, they just got off of a game with Paper X. They're not used to this slow tempo from DFM.
It's been slow all the time. I mean, it's been really good poking and prodding here from DFM, knowing when they can and need to ramp things up. There's triple push into main, eventually coming through, but pull out that dart. But they'll be able to find one. It's the other. Sure, get a parting kill there, but has been weakened significantly. For now, they do save them off, but the A site is completely opened up.
They'll keep the important weapons here. The rifle's in their own hands, so they're happy to leave away. They already spotted enough members. Still, I mean, look at this, right? Medusa's still waiting to see if there is an aggressive push out of tiles. That's the area they don't have control over. So again, a much more thorough DFM. I like that you mentioned it's not just slow. It's been a lot of controlling. I mean, DFM is causing so many forced errors on the side of T1 here at this best of 3, and once again, it looks like they're going to be a step ahead, clearing things out step by step on A.
Slow and methodical all the same. As we can tell, no threats whatsoever on this side of the map, but DFM not taking any chances
30 seconds
with the enemy
left.
team having just pistols in hand. So Plant now coming down. See what the call is going to be here for T1. Gather up in a spike explosion party, or if they actually want to try to take some weapons out of the hands and actually risk giving over some crucial ult charge here to their opponents. Trap wire set up though. Will alert to at least the presence of one on this side of the map.
Looks like they'll just try to wait for the exits, and if it's
on it. Now for today's schedule, we
laid wait. Thing is they purposely placed far forward on the site as well. So worst case, they could have just held there and made sure that the peaks don't come through. It's very well thought out from DFM.
Getting maximum value, maximum punishment here against T1. I mean, starts with that.
I think
Scrappy at the beginning, but overall clean in the end. See, still all business here for the side of DFM, wanting to save any kind of real celebrations for the end after they've confirmed a victory for themselves. T1 though, still in a decent position, but need to win out here in this round. Stop that bonus conversion coming through. Still just all have shields for them in this anti-bonus.
T1, of course, doesn't want to give the free plant on B. Always a bit of a pain to push into B main to counter that post plant. See if they eventually push back out for that contact, because they're going to have Neth waiting for it.
The fragment out. Sent into the back. Neth's still here, though. And they know that that's a freshly thrown cage, not a preset one.
But here's the thing is you don't know, was that used to exit or was that used to re-enter? I mean, Neth is really keeping him tied up. The 0-point checks for it.
Oh, the jumping from May. Cover going off the back of the paranoia, finds the kill. Izu now trying to hold, doesn't see that gun barrel, it's just an inch away, swing out, he can't quite steady the aim.
Them play much because of the fact.
Looking like the call is just gonna have to be to save.
Well, you have to, because here's the thing. Saya was on the hunt for Neth, but eventually he has to run into a tripwire, and he can't get past that without notifying him. I just excellently played from DFM. Like you said, pushing and pulling across the entire map, forcing T1's hand, knowing that they will always want to re-clear. Like, how does this happen?
No, just not like this. I'm not even like dumbfounded by the situation or by the opponent. Just the improvement and the growth.
Yes, exactly. That's what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing: is that
they're playing mind games with him.
Exactly. I would have expected. Listen, if they looked relatively clean in their own set plays and they were covering for each other, things like that, or maybe the aim overall improved a little bit, that alone would have actually made me quite happy to see the improvements from DFM. Just because I'm not trying. But now, it's the mechanics, it's the overall macro play, it's the reads, the timeouts. This entire squad, the organization, has had an absolute evolution.
This is, yeah, absolutely astounding here from the side of DFM. We're just 4 rounds away from closing out a series over T1. A lot of us, I mean, have pinned to be one of the top squads at the end of stage 1.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I had selected T1 as, you know, one of the most likely to go to Shanghai as well, just given how they looked at kickoff. And I would argue, even after the game against Paper X, people were still rating T1 quite highly. It's just that, okay, Paper X continues to reign supreme. But today, it's not the case. And I just wanted to give a quick shout out to the coaches as well. Obviously, Autumn has been doing wonders trying to work these, you know, very diverse variations of the T1 squad. But Astel, you know, one of the younger coaches, especially in terms of career, definitely the youngest career, as he was most recently a player, trying to bring back this fallen kingdom of DFM to the light.
Saya looking to get a bit more aggressive, take some forward space here, but everyone from DFM says, have it.
Yeah.
We'll wait over here.
I mean, what a read off the timeout as well. It's one of the best things that Neon can do. Even on the A side, they've got that tripwire ready. Just waiting to see if it's a re-clear on mid. They're purposely trying to draw out that attention. That leads to an early door break as well. I mean, this is all stuff that T1 now has to start caring about non-stop. Won't quite find
now
the
doubling back. They've
they do.
Waited out the pressure. It's just Carpe lingering forward here in main. Swing on the corner. He'll be spotted. Now has to try to backpedal. Still holding close and still not calling for reinforcements.
He's
Man cleared.
Slowly back out entirely all the way to market. That's the nearest reinforcement he has. But this is what's happened, right? Is T1, they've been getting pushed and pulled so much that they just don't want to over-rotate anywhere. So they're holding mid, and they've shifted their weight to A, and this might work out.
This is actually working out for them because I don't think they realized quite where that 0 point came from. It's all the way across the opposite side. And they get a couple members tagged. Now they decide that they want to try to push A. Izu, he's got a sheriff in hand. Rossi shutting down May on the approach. Jump forward there into the cyber cage. Rossi trying to stay alive, but eventually will be found there as Neth goes fishing. 2 HP. He somehow finds another. 10 seconds remaining. And Izu looks to shut them all down.
Oh, the spray. Oh, the transfer and the stabilization all in one. Absolute heroics from Izu because, like you said, sure, T1's cautiousness led to the right call, but then the trade seemed to be absolutely in favor of DFM.
10 seconds.
I mean, Neth being able to get another one there is huge, but Izu. Oh, I mean, what an incredible, incredible spray down for him, doubling his kills in that round when T1 needs it the most.
Flash.
keeping him in this one. Poison Orb thrown down. Side player out in front of this one.
Oh, they're trying to push him out.
Snakebite does force him a little bit further forward, but no one really there for the challenge. 0 Point will identify a couple of players here from DFM.
So
They'll look to just go
DFM,
their separate ways.
off of that previous round, what they'll have to recognize is, okay, just our typical fakes, right? And then leaving the Cypher, things like that, was red in the previous round. The setup up to it was good, though. So curious to see if they're able to identify that in the server, as it's much easier to tell when you're seeing the entire minimap.
Wingman checking, nothing spotted. Cam set up, though. We'll see all of this movement. They spot the cam.
Shadows.
TP across here from Izu. Looks like DFM, though, still splitting in here towards this B side. Paranoia. A little bit further behind them, though. Doesn't get the catch.
Recon.
Reveal comes in off the recon. And Skir's firing into the corner there. Unable to find too much damage as Anthem comes up with 3. Suddenly, Rossi all by himself. And he is not ready for this one. The May was barely ready for it either, but in the end, he's able to find the spray, find the target, and find the round win. Double digits here for DFM.
You can tell T1, they're starting to make some errors, right? Excurit kind of played by his own cyber cage there, thinking that he had the angle, wasn't quite aware of what the setup was himself. Because if he had gotten that kill early, things would have been a little different. Spike doesn't go down as fast either. Now it's just going to be another stack.
The Paranoia. Too delayed on that as well. Still investing. Multiple players. So dangerously low on cash.
Oh, I guess
Still
a
just a
rush.
stinger there. As everybody now starting to rotate around here towards B.
But the thing is DFM saw more than one in mid, right? The Neon and one more member. So they're just going to shift that weight, and this is the timing for Medusa.
Showstopper.
Start to go forward.
Great enough space. They grab that. Ult's now online. Like you said, Medusa, he's been poking and prodding over towards A. Hasn't really seen much of anything yet. Seems like DFM, they want a little bit more comfort, a little bit more reassurance. So they will explore some other parts of the map here first before really settling on where they want this spike to rest.
They're breaking the door and market as well, making sure that the members who rotated over to B have to be tied up there. And now it's going to be a send onto the A site.
It's just such good movement
Yes.
here from DFM once again. Round after round putting this on display. Showstopper now at the ready. Nobody there on site. Just looking to clear out this trap wire. Draws it, send it over.
30 seconds left.
Space bought. T1 now arriving as the plant comes in. Dizzy going to be scooped up once again here for Anthem. Still has that Mosh in his back pocket. Excurit has the ult, needs to try. Get over to a corpse and maybe invest that one. Spot out as they start pushing forward. Relay Bolt's able to get the stuns. Carpe able to gun down 2, guns down 3. Izu will be able to find the final. And just like that, T1 making that retake look a lot easier than we might have anticipated, but they keep things close once more.
A godlike recon coming in from Carpe. Just gets all the tags, and quite frankly, the recon was really good in the previous round as well. So the Silva, very well prepared. They're able to just tie them up. The Paranoia, the Relay Bolt, the fast lane, everything. Make sure that DFM denied all the vision. Meanwhile, you get to see him through all that utility.
Well left. Hunter's Fury online here for T1.
Man, DFM, I mean, I was going to mention that I liked that they sent both ults on that entry because they wanted to get one step closer to the match point. But now they'll need to take a little bit more time.
Oh, Izu. Crisp shot, finds one. Hunter's Fury fishing as Izu will be able to get Anthem, and Rossi cleans up two. Saya hitting the other. Solid aggression coming out of T1, and now they're back to within touching distance of DFM. 10-9. Cash continues to get whittled away at.
A good switch up from T1. Instead of trying to meet DFM on the wings of the map, they decide to split them up entirely. A hard commitment. And also, I mean, credit to Izu, regaining his confidence a lot with 2 of those heroic plays. Goes for the peaks, buys time for his teammates to set up cover, so he just has to focus on tiles. Now, it's going to be an A setup for the Cypher, just delay. But everyone tagged. This 0 point from Rossi has been the bane of DFM as the rounds have been adding on to each other. Cam in mid.
Triple stack here on the B side. Take one away from that Thrash now is Anthem. Now DFM again just trying to play around with the map movements a little bit more. Switch tap, doors shut there.
Reset on A as well. Looks like the idea here is you want to focus, shift your weight to B, and instead of just delaying one side of A, it's going to be Execure anchoring as hard as possible if they do come A. He's got trips and cyber cages next to each other. That way they can focus all their utility onto the B site. Decision has to be fast here from Execure. The paranoia.
He sat there. He's pushing forward, able to get the catch. Anthem going to be taken down, but now Death tucked away. Wrong side box. Swings out, finds him, finds another Execurant. Taken down. Man advantage there. Their way out onto the site in front of Rossi before he can try to find the punish. Flash sent in. Drone on the hunt. Saya here, backside. Able to find one. There's the investment though. Neural depth in from Neth.
Oh, the fast push in.
Spotting out the rest. Side player now playing forward. He's in behind the box, so it is sprayable. And Neth has the covering fire. Takes him down. Neth on for the ace. No. Fell to the very last moment. Spike planted. That's in a bad spot. Doctor there onto the corner. Knows that he's in, but no, he still holds his ground. Waits for Carpet to swing into him. And he takes his head off.
I can't believe Cess just stands there through all of that. I mean, Carpe, you could tell he was wondering, well, surely you push out at some point, and Cess says no.
This was...
I mean, what a...
Neth bailing them out.
Yes.
Nice! And Seth's just finishing the job that Neth had started for him. Timeout now. Second one called by T1. As they are in dire straits. Backs up against the wall here in a corner. DFM with a 2 round.
जो भी देखे वह नीचे लाइक कर दे, सब्सक्राइब कर दे यार, लाइक तो और उठने का भाई से
to DFM and the organization.
It's been a glow up year for both of them.
Yes, that is for sure.
Suppressing.
You know what, they're separate ways and both are doing just fine.
One suppressed.
Well, now, DFM, can they take the second to last step? Can T1 get in their way once more? Side player, operator in play. Should go for a retake, does have that overdrive as well, but for now, DFM not playing in towards that op whatsoever. And given how good their reads are, I'm curious if they have a very strong idea that Saya is going to be using that op, because so far he has not been bringing that out at all. May jumping forward, doesn't go too deep in, as there's the wingman, but he's with enough of an angle, is able to stop the plant. So now they have to work their way forward. Head spotted, Anthem taken down.
Now, Anthem was ready for that, though, right? Recognizing that that's the best spot.
Okay, all just to pick up the spike.
I mean, it's a fast recovery before they can swarm on it. I don't mind it at all.
Market door now shut. They've drawn the rotation, and well, now they certainly do know about it. Saya
30 seconds
putting
left.
May down.
Poison's off.
3 members left, drifting away. Looks like, yeah, DFM, tough pill to swallow, but looks like they are just going to make the call to get grouped up inside of the spawn and let this round go into T1's hands.
Not much you can do about it.
10 seconds left.
It's not like you're really going to greed for anything. Sure, if you thought you had a great idea on how to take down the operator, that was an option, but it's already way far back. Never really got close to touching it. But now that they know, what's the adjustment from DFM? They have the information now to try to keep that lead.
Still 2 away. That hit could come in here for it.
Right, immediately after that,
The last contributions of the coaches, unless the sense of going to overtime. Now settled. All come down to the execution of the players. Overdrive, the neural theft, all still there. Thrash online for Anthem. DFM. What's the game plan going to be? Right now, everybody stacked up. Maybe take a peek here in towards mid.
oh, a fast hit from mid to market.
Even said there's just going to be some fighting here. Over B main, this camera does get cleared.
But with that paranoia coming out into B main, gotta wonder if DFM's gonna slow things down a little bit.
It's decent spray though. Managed to make some connections there on the Izu. He's down to 42 now. Not the kill that they would have definitely preferred to have had, but could still benefit from that damage later on in the round.
Now T1 has a bit of a crafty adjustment where it's not the operator that they planted in B main.
It's over into Execrate's hands here as he is watching this back alley and has been spotted. They noticed the gun in his hands is the question, but either way, that Thrash is not recoverable for the time being.
Yeah, the idea is always to go back to B right now, but Medusa has to stay alive and sell this quite hard on A. He can go down eventually because you have mid control.
All coming back up. Market being checked out. Izu. Sad back over by Boba. Looks like they're just going to push all the way through top mid. Start wrapping around here towards B. Relay bolts being sent. Mage tucks into the corner. Protected for now. As there's Execrate strikes, finds one. Side player going to be taken down. Neural Theft invested. TP forward, I believe there. Izu going to be taken down. Medusa finding one, but Rossi still here on site, trying to stay alive. Spike
barely
can get planted.
10 seconds left.
Behind the box. No way to try to take him down. Poison Orb to try to escort him out. Carpe on the flank comes up with a kill, and now it is all on Medusa.
He's got spotted. The drone knows.
Been able to get the dart in onto him, but Execrate re-swings with the op. With that defuse, T1, they tie us up 11-11.
You failed. Now flee.
The thing is after that mid control, DFM had already played so much time that no matter where they went, they just had to rely on the pinch and the numbers to be in their advantage, which technically they were. But Medusa really wanting to play a bit slower to take over elbow, trusting that the death ball would do the work, and looks like the last thing they didn't account for was the relay bolt, right? That slows him down entirely on that entry from top mid.
Thumbed him up now. Tied, who can take the lead? One ult apiece. Have to be able to get into a position to actually utilize the pit before it really becomes relevant. So far, very quiet, very slow going.
Yeah, that's been the big change, is that T1 just has not been aggressing as much. So they've basically forced DFM to unconsciously waste a lot of time. Because normally, DFM's waiting because they're like, well, T1 surely re-peaks this again. They usually come out to clear this area again, and it has not been happening since the timeouts. It's on them to have to regain control of the map.
One-way smoke there in the market for Zaya to try to play off of. He usually ends up falling for, but no, we'll just go ahead and dissipate now. working their way forward. Still deep lurk here for Medusa. Excurate just around the corner with that operator. Side player gonna be spotted. Seeing the neon, seeing that op, they should know that it's still gonna be in the hands of Excurate. They haven't spotted him out yet, but the rest of the team now moving over towards this site.
30 seconds
They
left.
have to suspect something though, right? That's gotta be the reason why Medusa hasn't swung this yet. Surely they're trying to go for a double to try to take this out.
Poison Orb blooms, he tries to go for the timing shot.
They
It's
don't
gonna be
know
a little
about
bit too early, but no, they do not know about Rossi. Smoke now goes down. May turns back, he's able to find another. 2 for 2, showstopper at the ready.
10
Heard the
seconds
TP,
left.
doesn't know where it
Check
went.
the smoke. Does he check the smoke?
He
does!
Izu gonna be taken down, 3 kills there for May. 3v2, the overdrive available for side player, but Vandal in hand, he's up close.
I'm out of here.
Clear out on that dart, slides in. Neth able to shut it down. Carpe now, the IGL needing to do everything. Try to gain the lead to take this up to match point.
Oh, the smoke is
It's into the smoke. Good sense, gets the headshot there, takes out May.
Trying to
There's
get a
still
reaction.
so much more, yeah, just trying to get anything that he possibly can, but all he gets is a bullet to the head. DFM are now up to match point.
Already an incredible feat by DFM. And this isn't a slight on their past history, but the fact that also T1, again, one of the most exciting teams, prospects to be looking forward to in 2024 Pacific. And the fact that they've guaranteed at least overtime on map 3, a map that they have not shown. Incredible endurance, incredible preparation. And once again, it's May with some heroic mechanics.
Crucially here though, T1, plenty of cash to try to go for the buy.
Rush.
Little bit of a, faster pace round here. Paint Shell clears out one of the trap wires. Main out, just diving in, up over top of the cyber cage. Good for the reveal. Carpe trying to go ADS in, that pick off. We'll just go 1 for 1, but now the pit, at long last invested here from Medusa, has had this for quite some time.
And they've been pinged. Does this allow for the flank all the way around from Neth?
Depth with the reveals now. Ult going, fishing right now with this overdrive. Side player trying to find any straight damage that he can get. So far, not much going to be found. Sessa dropped. Izu coming up with a kill. Beams still going across the dragon from Neth. Finds himself 2 kills. It's all on Saya player. He's got an op in hand. No more ult charge. Sends out the shot. Swinging a ring around the Rosie. And Medusa gets it done. 13-11. Long have they waited. Finally rewarded. Detonation Focus Me find their first victory in VCT Pacific against none other than T1.
Absolute miraculous showing from this squad of DFM. I mean, you just saw how happy they were at kickoff to just even win rounds and to take that time off, come absolutely prepared. Not a single win in VCT Pacific. It's all been red lights stopping them from moving forward, but finally, a spark of green and perhaps a start to a new era of Japanese Valorant.
Fans in tears, and understandably, they have waited longer than these players. These are the ones who, aside from Anthem, came into this team inheriting what was, again, a crumbled empire.
I mean,
ruins. A 0-9 record last season. No wins in kickoff. But this squad here, the rebuild, the change in coaching staff across the board, this team, it looks like a team, a detonation that you can at long last believe in.
absolutely, you should believe in them. The faith should remain. And you now see, I also want to give props to the fact that they were able to hold on to their emotions until the win was finally across the finish line. Like, these guys have been waiting for so long, and you mentioned it. It almost felt unfair for the majority of this roster to inherit that record and try to overcome it, but now they've done it.
They absolutely have. Like we said, controlling the emotions during the game, being happy, being cheerful, but not allowing themselves to get ahead of themselves. But now that it's done and dusted, you can see the emotions, they are coming through. Well, we're going to go ahead and hand this over to the analyst desk. 3 individuals that absolutely need to pay up and buy the DFM bundle.
And we will buy that bundle because they have done it. their first victory in VCT Pacific ever. DFM victorious against T1. Is this gonna be a new era for Valorant, gentlemen?
I don't know if it's a new era yet, but it's definitely a new evolution for DFM. Detonation Focus Me. I mean, these guys, they've worked so hard. It just shows like if you don't give up and you just keep working at it, certainly at some point, sometime, everything will line up and you'll have a total eclipse, and you just eclipsed T1 in this entire series.
I'm just blown away. I mean, it's so incredible to see the emotion on the stage, the way that they played today. It's so heartwarming that after such a long road, after such a forgettable 2023, that coming into stage 1, they get a win. There's just no other way to describe it. It's just amazing.
Their win was against T1 too. One of the best teams here in Pacific over the last 2 champions last year, and this year, highly ranked amongst all the talents, coming in here, defeating them.